And we are live. Hey, everybody, this is Roberto Blake, helping you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about brand deals, sponsorship, and UGC, which stands for user-generated content, another way for you guys to be able to make money as content creators. And we'll even answer some of your questions about membership. We'll start probably by getting through some basic things before you guys dive into Q&A. We'll answer some basic questions for you, like how large should you be if you want to do sponsorships as a content creator? How many subscribers or followers or whatever do you need? So how does all of that work? And also we'll answer some of these other questions that you might have, generally around what brands are looking for. And I'm just going to get something out of the way. If you have less than 1,000, less than 5,000 subscribers, you probably shouldn't worry about brand deals. And I'll tell you why. The main reason that I don't think the smallest YouTubers should focus about brand deals, it's not that it's impossible for you to get any. It's that it's not a really good and productive use of your focus and your time. If you're a very small YouTube channel, you should probably be focusing on your audience. I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a challenge here in terms of your thought process. If you're a smaller content creator, I want you to think about why you want brand deals. And I want you to be honest. No lying, no cheating, no telling me what I would want to hear. And again, I genuinely want you guys to be honest with me. Why do you want a brand deal if you are not at 5,000, 10,000 subscribers? And be honest, because what I think happens is this. I think a lot of creators don't ask themselves the honest question of, why would this be useful or helpful to the brand to sponsor or work with me? What does my audience actually get out of any of this? And how am I bringing anything to the table for a brand partner if I decide to try to reach out and have someone work with me? What would I even offer a brand? If you're under 10,000 subscribers, I want you to think about that. What is it you're actually doing? What services are you rendering? What are you really bringing to the table in that situation? And I'm not saying that it's absolutely nothing, but I do want you to think about this a little bit more. And I want you to be a little bit more mindful and thoughtful about why would a brand want to work with and sponsor you. Now, to give you guys some points of reference, there are different levels of influencers. There are nano influencers, there are micro influencers, there are mid-tier influencers, and there are macro influencers, and then there are mega influencers. So, you need to take these things into consideration. So in the chat right now, D. Paul says, free stuff, but no, mostly because it helps with leverage and building your brand, as well as it brings credibility to the brand and other brands reaching out to you because your content. So basically you're saying for you, it'd be to build your reputation. If one brand works with you, maybe other brands will want to work with you. This is all 100% true, by the way. If a brand works with you, then other brands would want to work with you and would want to partner with you. But here's what you should always consider in brand deals. In brand deals, I want all of you to start asking, what does this partnership do for my audience? So when you're getting a brand deal, instead of just trying to ask for money, you should think about what kind of opportunity can be created for your audience to benefit. So some of you should be looking at relationships in terms of, if I partner with a brand, can I improve the lives of my audience by doing that? And not just by making better content for them. So what would be an example of this? An example of this would be that more of you should be negotiating in your brand deals. How do you get a coupon code for your audience? So a lot of you turn your nose up at the idea make any money and all you get is like a product to review. A lot of you hate these, okay, I'm just getting free product versions of partnerships with brands. I think that a lot of you should reconsider that. I think it's okay to do partnerships with brands where you may not make any money. And I'm typically the monetization guy who's like, let's go get the money. Let's go get the bag. Let's secure the bag. And I'm still serious about that. And I still respect that. But here's my reason. And I'm going to show you guys some stuff from my media kit in terms of how I pitch the sponsors. And we'll talk about that in a bit. But before I get super into that, what I'll do is, one, I'll answer this super chat that we just got. But I feel like one of the really good reasons to work with a brand is if it can do something for your audience. So if it's that your audience can, for example, hey, if you're sending me a review unit, let's say a brand was sending me a review unit, I might ask for the brand to give me 2 or 3 more review units that I can give away to members of my audience and say, hey, can we do something where we give away 2 or 3 of these units to my audience? Or, hey, you're a software brand, hey, can we get 5 free licenses for my audience? Or, hey, if you guys do a 15-day free trial, can my audience get a 30-day free trial? Can they get 10% off at checkout? Can they get 15% off at checkout using my code? Now, here's why you would do that. The reason that you would do that, even if you're a small creator, and the reason as a small creator that you want to start taking the free brand deals, is you want to start using the free brand deals to get things for your audience. And this is also going to help you with a really big problem. Your audience will resent you doing brand deals less and will stop skipping your brand deal pitches in the video, your sponsored content in the video, when they get something out of it. And when they know, wait, when you do brand deals, we get a coupon code, we get a discount, oh, we get a free trial, oh, someone's going to win something in a giveaway. That makes the audience less frustrated and offended by the idea that you're doing these brand deals. So I want you to keep that in mind. And that can be incredibly powerful for motivating your audience to support and click on the links for your brand deals, even if they don't end up being buyers, to show that they're at least interested and that there's a traffic opportunity and that you can deliver something for the brand. So that becomes really important. 10 Plus Sound says, hey, everybody, listen to this man, good people, 100%. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah. So what I would say is, when the brand can also allow you to be in a position to do something for your audience without coming out of your own pocket to be able to do these discounts or these giveaways, then that's incredibly impactful and a very good reason to do a free non-paid brand deal when you're early. The other thing is, when they give you a coupon code, that's also a way to track any purchases and sales that might have come from your audience. And so that can show the brand that you're creating value. And what I would do is, even if they're not paying you, is I would ask to say, like, have them tell you, hey, let me see how many people used my coupon code. Or, hey, you negotiate getting an affiliate link and you say, hey, can I have an affiliate link and get a percentage of the sales that I drive to you? I want to be in your affiliate program. Most brands have an affiliate program. Now, a lot of you, your only experience with affiliate programs is the Amazon influencer program, which is another good way to start. But if you can become an affiliate for these brands and you can get free product from them and you can get coupon codes and discounts for your audience, then this goes a long way to you showing your audience that, hey, when I succeed, you guys get more stuff, you guys get more value, and not just more content. So that's an opportunity. The other thing that would happen is, if you at least become an affiliate, you can make some money from the affiliate programs. And on top of that, you have the ability to show that brand and other brands that you're able to drive traffic and sales. And I'm going to show you an example of this because I have a case study in my own media kit. So in my media kit, where I pitch to brands, I actually have a case study for my partnership with Tubebuddy. Now, what that shows is it shows brands that I can drive traffic for them, but also shows brands, my capacity to generate traffic, clicks, conversions, and my ability to drive revenue and sales. So that becomes incredibly valuable to a brand to say, okay, Roberto actually does bring quite a lot to the table. And if we work with him, there's an opportunity for us to get the same benefits and same things that Tubebuddy got with him as a partner and get those outcomes. And we really like that. So maybe that's something that we should consider. And maybe that's a good reason to work with Roberto. So when you put together, a lot of you I know are trying to just, get by with like, using a free media kit that might be generated for you in your YouTube account or through another tool. The reason I recommend building your own media kit is because you get to tell your own story and you get to present your data your way and you get to do things that wouldn't appear, because this case study, YouTube with their free media kit would never be able to generate this case study and to present me to brands in this way. YouTube would never be able to list all of my previous brand partnerships and use that as leverage to get another brand to work with me and to see that there are larger brands that have supported me in the past. So that's why I recommend putting together your own media kit and doing that, because you get to tell your own story on your own terms. And I think that that's much more valuable than the way that's done by generating it with an app or with YouTube. I don't think it gives the right context. So that's something that I think actually matters. And I think it matters more than a lot of you think it does. Now, what I'm going to do here is I actually have a coupon code for you guys for one of my products. If you're trying to build your own media kit, you can use my brand deal starter kit from Awesome Creator Academy. And I dropped that link in the chat here for you. There's a discount code. It's going away. We would have normally ended it in my a month after my birthday in July, but we extended it because some stuff went wrong with my email software. So we extended the discount code for that. So that's should be in the description, and it should be in the chat here for you. So I don't want to make sure you guys got the opportunity to check that out. You also can sign up for my free email list. And with that, you will be able to get my 12-week creator guide, and that will help you improve at any level as a content creator. Doesn't matter how many followers you have. So just wanted to get that out of the way real quick. But for small creators, it becomes very important to start the process of getting even free brand deals, because then you can list previous partnerships. You want to do potentially affiliate deals so that you can show results and get tracking links and be able to show that you can drive traffic, show that you can drive conversions, and that you can generate sales. What brands are looking for, and this is what you need to be able to bring to the table, there are 4 typical things that brands kind of are looking for when they partner for a creator. Most of you are focusing on only one of those things. Most of you are focusing on reach, and reach is important. Reach is important, which is your audience size, the amount of views, the amount of engagement you're getting. That's important. However, there is something besides your reach that disqualifies you from even working with a company in the first place. One of those things is a good reputation. You don't want to be involved in scandals. You don't want bad things to happen when they go and they look up your name or they go and they look up your content. So making sure that your stuff is brand safe and making sure that you're brand friendly and that you have a good reputation is extremely important, because that disqualifies you from getting a deal. Even if you have a ton of reach, brands might back off of working with you if it would mean that they get involved in a scandal that they don't want to be accountable for. So that's very important to be low risk to a brand. So reputation and risk is also important, not just your reach. So that's number 2. Now, I would say that reach is not the most important thing. I'd probably say that reputation and risk is the most important thing. And before I move on to the next thing, I'm going to answer a couple questions here in the chat. So Yassine Khalik says, hey, Roberto, is there 40% off one-on-one calls? No. I am willing to discount some products some of the time. I am not willing to discount access to my time. The only thing you can do is you do get a discount on one-on-one calls if you are an Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group member. Pro Group members get a discount on one-on-one calls. Now, currently, and this will change probably at the end of the year or beginning of next year, currently, Academy Pro Group members get 30% off. You can look all of this up at awesomecreatoracademy.com and see if you want to join the Pro Group. You do have to make time for it, though. With the Pro Group, we do group coaching calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you don't have the time to attend the Pro Group, it may or may not be worth it for you. So you can go look that up at awesomecreatoracademy.com and see if that is something you want to do or get involved with, but it's not something you have to do. Again, happy to sometimes do discounts on my products, will not discount on my time except for Pro Group members. All right. Now, Brockton has a question. Brockton's question is Partner Boost affiliate legit? I was scared because it wanted my PayPal username. I'm not familiar with Partner Boost affiliate at all. Not familiar with them, so I can't vouch for them. I would never give my PayPal username and password to any platform or to any other individual. So when I see things like that, I'm not saying this company is a scam, so I don't need to be sued. But I would say that when something asks me for my username and password, I assume it's a scam. Nothing should be asking you for your username and password for your PayPal, and you shouldn't be giving anybody or anything your username or password for PayPal. When it comes to PayPal and getting paid by brands or affiliate programs, they should only ever need the email address for your PayPal email, and that's it. They should never need your username and password. That is a scam typically to go ahead and get access to your PayPal accounts and steal your money and to lock you out of your accounts. So you never, ever, ever want to give up your PayPal username and password. When you're working with brands and affiliate programs, you should only need to give them the PayPal email address associated with your account. That's it. So be safe out there and do not mess around with these kind of things. So never, ever share passwords. Yep. Yeah, asking for a password is a big red flag. There's no reason they should ever need the password. None whatsoever. They should never need that. So going back to what we were talking about earlier, though, with brand deals and these partnerships, something that, I bring up that they really look at, like we talked about with regard to your reputation and why that matters and why your reputation could be your previous partnerships. It's also you not being involved in scandals. It's also you meeting brand safe guidelines. So brand safety guidelines of where maybe now with exceptions, you probably want to avoid content that is in any way dangerous, unless you absolutely are a prank channel, that it is what it is and they understand. But you want to avoid things. You're less brand safe if you do pranks, controversial content, religious content, debates, politics, that sort of thing. You're less brand safe. There are brands that'll work with you, but again, a lot of brands tend to shy away from that because it's not really to their advantage. All right. See a lot of you old timers and some of you mods in the house. Thank you to all the mods. Appreciate you. So that becomes really important. And we'll talk about what happens when brands email you guys and red flags and scams in a bit. And we'll answer some of your questions around that. One of the really important things besides reach and reputation, like we talked about, is also going to be representation of the brand. So representation of the brand is extremely important. And what that means is, I'll give you a primary example. I'm a fantastic fit for software. I'm a fantastic fit for camera gear. This guy, probably not the best representation for selling beauty brushes and makeup. Probably not. So you have to fit what the campaign is. You have to fit what the brand is. You have to fit what the customer avatar. So the thing is, the brand wants someone to represent them that can relate to their customers in an authentic way. So you have to be the right representation for the brand. I'm also not a great brand ambassador if your goal was to reach teenagers, probably, or even college students, maybe. You know, outside of career development and mentoring, probably not. Aside from career development or mentoring, probably not. Or unless that demographic wanted to be a full-time content creator, probably not. So you have to say, okay, what audience avatar am I a good representation of? What audience do I have the capacity to relate to? So audience demographics would be a reason. So that would be representation. That's why we talk about audience alignment. So representation is the audience alignment. And it's, okay, this is who I am the best capable of reaching and relating to if we worked on a campaign together. So this is what I'm a fit for. And this could be your niches and your market verticals. Like for me, the verticals that I'm great in: software, tech, entrepreneurship, to a degree, travel, men's lifestyle, their personal development, career development. I would be great for that. So what brands fit for Roberto? So that'd be great brands. It could be ZipRecruiter, TurboTax, Sony, PayPal, TubeBuddy, vidIQ, StreamYard, Spotify, Storybox, Epidemic Sound. Obviously, those things all make sense. They're in the wheelhouse of, okay, Roberto's a tech guy: hardware, software, cameras, content creation, entrepreneurship, travel, public speaking. So, okay, yeah, Roberto can work with a microphone brand. He can work with a camera brand. He can work with a software brand. He can work with professional services. You know, so that would make the most sense. That would make the most sense. So then if you had someone like my friend, Gabriella, Glam Girl Gabby, she has a YouTube channel. She'd be great for women's hair, makeup, fashion, women's lifestyle content. Okay. So there's different opportunities based on who you are. She'd also be great for any content and brands that want to work with mothers, female entrepreneurs, mommypreneurs. That would make sense. There's an audience alignment there. So you really want to look at things like that audience alignment, and you want to be able to communicate that to brands and say, okay, here is the customer base that I represent. I love your products. I use them. Here's my authentic story. This is good for you. Now, if you're a small creator, the thing is, you could still be in the running for something if you're the right representation. And if it's not for sponsorship because you have small reach on your channel, it could be a UGC opportunity, user-generated content, where they say, well, you don't have a lot of audience and reach, and so you're the right representation, though, and we like what you stand for. Let's use you on my platform as a company. Let's use you on the brand's platform. We need you on our Instagram. We need you on our TikTok. We need you on our YouTube channel. And then that's how you would work with the brands instead of the reach for your audience. They're like, nah, you know what? That's okay. We have an audience, but we don't have good content and we don't have your authentic story. We don't have that representation we're looking for. So boom, let's go ahead and let's work with you and have you on our social media. So if you're a smaller content creator, what you really want to do is you want to do UGC content for a brand. Having that opportunity, though, means that even if you don't have the reach on your channels, you do need quality content on your Instagram, your YouTube, and your TikTok. So that means things like you want to consider, okay, is my production value as good as what the brand is putting out on social media? So again, not trying to discourage you. If all you have is your smartphone, that's all you have. However, using better gear and using better camera gear, and I get a lot of heat from this from people, and people think I'm a snob about this, but better camera gear, better audio, better lights, all that stuff is really helpful to help you make more money on brand deals, because you'll be able to produce content that looks competitive and as good as other people they're working with, and will be good on their social media channels and will represent them well. It's going to be a stretch for you to get that out of a smartphone when you're competing with larger creators. So if nothing else, you want to up your game to some degree when you can afford to. Maybe that comes out of your first paid brand deal of some kind. Maybe it comes out of that UGC content that you make money on. Maybe it comes out of those affiliate partnerships. But what needs to happen, in my opinion, is at some point you need to step up to a camera with a lens, some kind of decent lighting, even if it's $100 worth of lights, $100 to $200 worth of lights, maybe 3, and get at least a dedicated microphone. And I think that those things will then at least put your content high enough to be more respectable for you to start making hundreds of dollars for UGC content at least. And then beyond that, maybe start getting further with your own content on YouTube and Instagram. So I think that that becomes one of the most important things you can do there to help kind of move that along and to be able to compete for those opportunities. So Yassine is asking, for the group coaching calls, how long do they last? Usually an hour. We try to not go over that, but usually they will last an hour. For this other stuff, yes, avoid email scams from these brands, and do not click on links and open files from them with these brands reaching out to you, especially if you're a smaller content creator. There's really not a reason for you guys to be getting emails from brands that have links that you need to click on, and you shouldn't have to give anyone your username and password. These end up being these brand scams, fake brands, fake agencies that scam creators. Al Phil says, would you also say taking courses to learn how to talk properly would be worth it? If you're talking about, I don't know whether you're talking about public speaking or whether you're talking about negotiating. If you're trying to do public speaking and to be able to articulate yourself better and to be able to feel more comfortable, if you feel awkward in talking to people and stuff, you should look into something called Toastmasters. I know we have that here in America. I don't know if you are overseas or not, and I don't know if Toastmasters is international, but Toastmasters is something here in the US, and it's really helpful, and it's typically free if you can find a local chapter, and it's groups where they practice public speaking and talking in front of people, dealing with your nerves, being able to improve your articulation. It can be extremely helpful for a lot of people who become very awkward or nervous in those type of situations. It won't necessarily help you negotiate, aside from the fact that you'll just be more confident. Now, learning negotiations and sales is something different entirely. If you have the opportunity to ever do somebody's sales training, or if there's anything, whether it's local or online, if there's an opportunity to do some kind of sales training and do sales role play, that could be very helpful to you, because then you'll be able to close your brand deals. You'll be able to negotiate pricing. You'll be able to haggle for yourself a little bit better. You'll be able to ask for what you want and know how to present that properly. So that could be helpful to you. Now, at least once or twice a year, I run a live workshop. It is a paid workshop. It's a paid workshop. Now, normally, this would be an in-person workshop at an event, but we started experimenting last year with doing these online. So what I would say is, if any of you are interested, it's a paid workshop. It's an online paid workshop. If you're interested in the next online paid workshop that we do for brand deals, specifically around pitching and negotiating and brand deals role play, then email me at support@awesomecreatoracademy.com with the subject brand deals workshop specifically. That's not a course. It's a live workshop with Q&A, and it's on camera. So it is a group call, but it is a live workshop. It's a live workshop webinar, and that's a different thing. And one of the big things in that is negotiating the pricing and pitching the brand deals, and we show you guys a live demonstration and role play of how a brand deals call would work. Now, if you guys are following me on X or you're watching this on X, I've also been thinking about at least maybe every other week or so, if I can make time during my walks in the morning or in the evening, doing role play, sales role play around brand deals and pitching. And again, it's something where we do a more of that type of conversation in the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group and in my in-person workshops at events or live here in Atlanta, live events here in Atlanta, which we'll be doing more of this year and next year. We'll be doing more live events, but that's something different. And when a lot of people don't understand is that when you want to make a lot of money from sponsorship and brand deals, having a sales background, some of you, you'll be good because some of you worked retail. So thank God for that, because some of you will be able to talk to people in person and not be awkward when you have to do a Zoom or a Skype with somebody negotiating your brand deal contracts. Some of you will be okay because some of you worked retail before. If you've never worked a sales commission job, real estate, retail, auto sales, commission retail, it would be very difficult for you to do negotiating tactics a lot of the times without some practice. If you can at least do some public speaking practice with Toastmasters, then you can get very, very comfortable, and that would help you probably a lot more. Oh, technically, T, you said so down for a live event in the Atlanta area. Yeah, T, I want to get you if I can. It'd be great to get like you, me, lead attorney, and some other people together, MTR. It'd be good to get some of the Atlanta creators together and to do something like that. So T, we'll talk offline about that and do something here for the ATL because that could be really good for the locals. But yeah, I definitely encourage y'all to try if you can. Not everyone has content creators in their area, but if you can work with other content creators in your area on different things, that can be incredibly helpful as well. And negotiations, are a matter of value creation and exchange between both parties. And so there are a lot of levers you have in negotiations, but I'll get back to negotiations and pricing in a minute because we covered 3 of the 4 most important things. We talked about your reach a little bit, and I'll circle back to that more at the end about reach. We talked about how you're disqualified based on reputation and how a bad reputation makes you unattractive to brands and why you need to be brand safe and brand friendly. We talked about representation value and relatability and why you have to be the customer. You have to be the customer that they want to sell to, and you have to represent that customer, or there's no point in bringing you onto a campaign. Like there's no point in bringing me into a bodybuilding campaign. Not right now. There's no point in bringing me into a beauty guru campaign. That makes no sense. But you would put me in a camera campaign or a software campaign or an entrepreneurship campaign. So that would be important. So we talked about the importance of risk and reputation, relationship and representation, and also reach, which we'll circle back to reach. So what's the last one? ROI. ROI. Can you prove to a brand that you are worth it? ROI. Return on investment. Can you prove to the brand that you can help them achieve the goals that they're setting out to? Some brands are doing awareness campaigns. So then if they're doing an awareness campaign, reach is much, much more important to them if it's to bring awareness to the brand. Now, if they're trying to break into a new market, like they're doing a launch and they need to break through and they say, hey, we have a new product that reaches a new demographic, then representation matters more because they need the ability to break into a new market and say, hey, we normally are known for this, but we're now trying to, like, for example, hey, we're known for reaching business owners, but we want to reach the creator community. So Roberto, we know that you have credibility with content creators and you represent being a content creator and going full time. So we think you'd be great for this campaign. And we're not really worried about reach. We're worried about the fact you represent creators, you have a good reputation. So we need those two things because we need to at least try to break into this market that we've never broken into before. Okay, that makes sense. That would be ROI for a brand. So sometimes a brand needs someone to vouch for them and say, hey, we need somebody who brings legitimacy to our product, or hey, we need someone who has representation so we can break into a new demographic. Hey, we're known for our men's products, but you know what? We're launching a new female line. So even if they don't have reach, we need some women who are dynamic and have the right look for this product. So we need them. So you have to think about the fact that even without your reach, could you be an attractive spokesmodel for a brand? Can you be a spokesmodel and spokesperson for the brand? Are you somebody who would represent the audience correctly and be attractive in a billboard or a television ad campaign? Television ads, billboards are something brands still do and has nothing to do with your reach on social media. You have to be the right look and the right representation. You have to have the right story. If it's UGC content, you have to have an authentic testimonial and story that would be important, that would add some value and credibility to the brand. That would be ROI for them. They have to hire a model anyway. They might as well have a model that reaches the audience and has an authentic story, right? So that's more important to them. If you're someone who has credibility in a different way, you have a credential, you've won awards, you have some kind of status or social proof, then your reputation and associating with you is ROI, because now it's an endorsement. It's an endorsement. You don't have to be a celebrity to make an endorsement. You could be a professional. Oh, you're a lawyer? Having you endorse our thing makes sense. Oh, you're a foot doctor? Having you talk about our shoes and how valuable they are for arch support or to reduce joint pain or whatever. You're a doctor, you're a foot doctor, you're an orthopedist. That's perfect. You're in podiatry. That's perfect. Let's go. So those would be things that would make sense in terms of leveraging one's reputation and how that could be a return on investment for the brand. And then obviously there's ability to print money, the ability to drive sales. Hey, if you are a great salesperson, then you can absolutely create ROI for the brand, return on investment. So it makes sense. So those are kind of our four most important things. Can you create ROI from the brand? Well, what are the ways we create ROI? It could be our reputation if we can add credibility to the brand. It could be our representation if we are the only chance they have to relate to a certain market. And then it could, of course, be reach that we offer with access to our audience and our platforms. Ideally, it's all three. And of course, the revenue component of driving sales for them, of course. So if you can do those things for the brand, that is what you would bring to the table. That is what makes you a valuable partner to a brand for sponsorship opportunities on your platform, or even potentially to do UGC, user-generated content, on their platforms. That's why it would make sense. So do we all have a better understanding about brand relationships and partnerships now, and how to be a good brand partner and how to deliver for them? Do we understand that a little bit better now? Excellent. So yeah. So going back here to something in my media kit, let's talk a little bit about money. It might sound crazy that I can have these prices until you understand the things we mentioned earlier. Because in my case, it's not always about reach. It's about those other things that we talked about. It's about the fact that I am very good at converting sales, and that my buying audience, you guys, has a lot of buying power, especially due to being an older audience in their 30s that has more disposable income, because a lot of you are in your 30s, 40s like me, or older, and that's the primary audience, and that's the people who have probably the most disposable income, at least in America. So that makes sense for a lot of brands to say, hey, I'd want to reach those people. Also, there are other things that I have that I bring to the table in terms of my reputation. It doesn't hurt that I'm a best-selling author. It doesn't hurt that I'm in the top 1% of YouTube channels with 600,000 subscribers. Regardless of views, That's a status play that actually helps. It also filters me for brand deal opportunities just by being an over 100,000 subscriber creator. So that's incredibly useful and helpful to brands. And being a best-selling author doesn't hurt. Being an award-winning entrepreneur doesn't hurt. I don't collect trophies for fun. It's to elevate status and social proof. So that helps. Being able to speak to real-world accomplishments helps me as well. So these are things that I can bring to the table for a brand and say, okay, it's worth working with him. He's driven client services. He's driven affiliate marketing. He's a successful entrepreneur. He gets things done. So it's more than just my YouTube subscribers and my views. It's my experience as a public speaker. It's my credentials. It's the fact that I actually can help them improve the products and make them better. So those are all things that help. So you want to put yourself in a position. And the reason that media kits are important is it's your best opportunity to say, here's what I bring to the table for a brand. You also can have a lot of opportunities. My packages can be customized for what the brand wants. I have a joke. It's kind of funny. You guys might remember there's this like Christina Aguilera song from back in the day. What a girl wants, what a girl needs. And I have a joke parody that I need to get like a voice talent for, probably hire someone on Fiverr, but the hook would kind of go something, what a brand wants, what a brand needs, whatever makes them money and gets them reach. Like, and so that would be the hook for that. If I did a parody song, had somebody like Christina Aguilera with a voice that could clone her or copy her, it would basically come down to that. Yeah, what a brand wants and what a brand needs is whatever makes them money and gets them reach. And they will thank you for knowing exactly what a brand wants, what a brand needs. So that's the hook from the famous Christina Aguilera song. So yeah. And that's why, and Chantel Hills, yes, reach or leads works. Exactly, yeah. So like I said, whatever makes them money and gets them reach. So when you want to remember, like, okay, how do I create value for a brand? What does it take to get a brand deal? Just remember, what a brand wants, what a brand needs, whatever makes them money and gets them reach. That's it. So that's all you have to think about, and that's gonna be stuck in your head now. That like Christina Aguilera song is gonna be stuck in your head now, but it works. It's a really good way to kind of just remember where we're going and like, okay, here's how I deliver value for brands. Here's what is like, what do I do that gets them money? What do I do that gets them reach? How do I facilitate that? What opportunities am I offering for that? So an example of this would be my newsletter, for example, my newsletter integration. My newsletter has 14,000 content creators whose sole focus is making as much revenue as they can, improving their reach, revenue, reputation, becoming full-time content creators. There's no reason to be on my newsletter if your goal isn't to maximize your potential as a full-time content creator. Whether you want to become full-time or you're full-time and want to make more money, then you're one of the 14,000 people on my newsletter. That has gotten me extra value with brands and helps me increase my rates and my prices because very few people in my industry have newsletters and have value-driven newsletters and get 50 and 60% open rates on their newsletters. So that's leverage that I have that other people don't. So that's incredibly powerful. My reputation in Twitter, x.com, formerly Twitter, I am currently at 98,600 followers. Again, status play. There's just a filter on status if you can have over 100,000 in any platform. So that does very well for me. I also actually get really good engagement overall when you look at Twitter analytics. I get good engagement. So if people started looking at that in one of their tools or one of their apps to measure brands, then that becomes something that they look for. So these are things I can bring to the table that make sense. Because of my public speaking ability, I have access to stages, or I can partner with them and they say, hey, we're a sponsor. They gave us a stage talk. Our people internal Our people are good internal product developers, but man, they are not good at public speaking. Let's just have Roberto do it. So I have a lot of partners that have me give their presentation. I was just at NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters, earlier this year in Las Vegas. Have never been to NAB before. I spoke and I did 2 presentations at NAB, and I did some demos with my partners over at OpusClip, and that was really good. So OpusClip brought me out to Vegas, covered all the expenses. And again, I was paid to do this gig, and it worked out. And we also did some UGC content, and we did some footage, and they have the footage from the session. And so that was great for the brand, and they were happy to do it. I got to have travel, expenses, hotel suite, flight, all the trimmings, but I also got paid. And why? Because it is better to have an actual experienced public speaker give a presentation for your brand than somebody who might be just a product lead or a manager that is not necessarily the best public speaker. And so that can be very helpful. If you're known for public speaking or you have an audience, you might also attract more people to the presentation. Same thing for in-person activations with workshops and pop-ups. So these are other opportunities. I'm still working on growing Instagram. I have a whole new Instagram strategy that I'm working on that's going to be absolute value. It's going to deviate slightly from the personal branding approach that I was using and going to be more of a thought leader approach to personal branding instead of purely the motivational side. It's going to be much more thought leadership. It's going to be more resource driven, but my Instagram is going to take over the next 18 months. And so we're going to try and grow that from 24,000 to over 50,000, eventually 100,000 there, just like when I put the effort into Twitter. And why? Instagram is one of the next most important options for brand deals. Since I abstain from TikTok, it's important for me to grow Instagram as a platform. I'm known for my writing as well. I'm a best-selling author, and I was a writer for publications before. I'm going to try to become a contributing writer to some more prestigious publications. I've done stuff for Adobe's blog before, How Design, Print Magazine, Blue Line, other things, Creative Pro Magazine. So if I can get into some more prestigious positions, let's say I became a contributor to Forbes or Entrepreneur or something of that nature, or Huffington Post, those things are prestigious enough to where Fast Company, those things would be prestigious, and those things, while not directly integrating with brands, would give me more status that would make me more valuable to say, hey, what if we then had the brand set up an interview style thing for me that leads into that? It's a co-working relationship. So those are things you want to build up. You want to build up status that makes you valuable beyond just your reach. This is why I tell people improve your reach, reputation, and revenue. You want to do things that can improve your real world status beyond your social media numbers. You want real world social proof and status as well. And this will help make you a more valuable commodity for some of you. This could mean going and, if you have the extra money and you have the extra time, some of you getting your master's or a doctorate could just boost your credibility. And that could be something that makes you more valuable because it's more rare. And it means that an endorsement from you means something. So those are things that you should be thinking about. These opportunities also let you customize packages, so that you can offer more than just a shout out on a video. So being able to say, hey, I can incorporate you into live streams. I can incorporate you into a newsletter. Oh, I can incorporate you into an evergreen podcast. Hey, I can speak at your event. I can do your live pop-up. We can do an in-person workshop. We can do this. We can do that. I can be at the grand opening or unveiling. I can do hosting duties at your red carpet event. These are things you want to be in a position to offer as an influencer with your media kit. So as a content creator, it's important to be able to present options so that you can customize packages, so that you can get different pricing. My C Prince says, hey, Roberto, I also assume you had a nice time doing the work with Opus. Oh, yeah, no, I always have a great time doing the work with Opus. Like I said, I really enjoy working with companies that actually, one, have really good products, have great communities, and that also are doing good work. And Opus, they're professionals. When they flew me out to Vegas, they had everything taken care of. I didn't have to worry about a thing, to be honest with you. And then in terms of having their booth set up, having all of those things organized, having people that could film content, having that. The team was on point. People were in position. So you want to work with brands that are professionals and treat you well, treat the customers well, treat the people at the events well. And so that's what I really enjoyed. I enjoyed working with the Opus team, and I still work with them. It's important to have good brand partners. So let's talk a little bit about that, and let's talk about looking out for red flags with brands. So with brands, you want to make sure that you're only working with people who have a good reputation. A lot of you, the reason that a lot of you are falling for scam products when it comes to brand deals, and you're not vetting them better for red flags, is partly inexperience, and the other part is desperation to prove yourself and to feel legitimate and to feel like you're a real content creator by saying, oh, I got monetized. Oh, I got my first brand deal and sponsorship. It's really a try hard thing. And it's no offense to anybody. I'm not trying to talk down to anybody by saying it, but it's like, it's why some of you are getting your account stolen and you're getting hacked and you're getting scammed. And it's a real problem. What a lot of you need to do, besides just researching the brands when they reach out to you, is to actually, if you know you're a smaller content creator under 10,000, you should be much more skeptical about why a brand is reaching out to you. And so it should be setting off your red flags anyway, as, oh, it's exciting. Oh, I got noticed. Oh, they paid attention to me. Think about it seriously. Why are they reaching out to you? What's the deal here? What is it that they see in you? And you have to be honest and you have to be humble and say, you know what? I'm probably not ready yet for a brand deal. And I don't know why they would be contacting me. Is this legitimate? And your first thought should be, maybe this isn't legitimate. Maybe I shouldn't click on these links. Maybe I shouldn't download anything just yet. Maybe I should do some research and look into this company and see if it's even a legit company that's been around for a couple of years. You do not necessarily want to be the first one to jump on a new company in a lot of cases, because that's dangerous for you. And you don't want to work with companies who haven't done the work to establish a good reputation just yet. And so that becomes very important. What I typically do is, my brand deal relationships come in a couple of ways. Either I go and I decide, hey, I want to work with this brand. I'm going to go to their website. I'm going to find the press page on their website. I'm going to find a marketing contact. I'm going to look them up on LinkedIn, whatever. And I'm going to reach out to the brand. Or because I have a large enough account on Twitter and I'm verified, I can DM most brands and they will get back to me. It's another reason to grow either your Instagram or your Twitter, is the direct ability to reach out to a brand and be taken seriously. So for me, I do that. The reason I do that is then I'm reaching out to them. So I'm not as worried about a scam email. I'm reaching out to them. So I want to work with a brand. I'll do the outreach. I won't wait for my favorite brand to notice me. I'll do the outreach. Now, another thing you can do is you could go to an agency that has, you can go to an agency. I'm going to pull up one of the websites right now. You can go to an agency and you can go and you could look up who their clients are. So primary example, I think this is their current website. Give me a second. So Sunshine, Sachs, which I guess they acquired new partners. So Sunshine, Sachs, Morgan, and Lillis now. That's a mouthful. But Sunshine, Sachs, they're a PR and consulting firm. And so the thing is, they also do talent integrations. And so they represent a lot of different types of companies. So you can see here, oh, they do brand integrations and such. So these folks actually have quite a big portfolio of brands that they work with. And so reaching out to them is definitely an opportunity in terms of doing business. Now, I don't have any kind of exclusivity deal with these folks. I've worked with them a few times, and I believe that they worked with me on a couple of Adobe campaigns, actually. I think they worked with me on an Adobe campaign. I think we might have worked together on either a Dell or HP campaign. I'm trying to remember. But this was a great opportunity. But this is one of the major ones, okay? So that would be an example of a major PR company. Another one would be Standard, and I believed I worked with them on also an Adobe campaign, but a different department of Adobe. So with Social Standard, I did something with them. And what you do is there are a couple of companies like this, and you can see like what brands they work with. For example, this would be great for someone in the lifestyle space. You know, doing a campaign with Hinge could be good for someone in lifestyle. In business, Zendesk. They work with Adobe Video. I did a campaign with them, and there was some UGC for Adobe's one of Adobe's YouTube channels that I got featured on. So that was a great opportunity. There's things like tourism. So that's great for a travel creator. Virtual reality. That's great for tech creators. Massage Envy, great for fitness influencers and such. Automotive. So they represent a lot of great brands. And so then by reaching out to them and being able to directly work with them or being on their email list, opportunities could get to a creator, or a creator could pitch them something or ask to say, hey, I'd like to work with you. Are there any appropriate campaigns this quarter that I might be a good fit for? Here's my information. Here's a link to my media kit. Would love to start a relationship. Okay, so boom. So working with PR companies. Now, something I did in the Brand Deal Starter Kit, and we've linked that in the description for you. I'll link it again in the chat. Something I've done with the Brand Deal Starter Kit is actually I've listed, I believe, 8 or 10 different agencies or PR companies that people could work with, and that would ultimately help them get more brand deal opportunities if they know what companies to work with and what they have to offer. And I've kind of done a mini review of a lot of the companies that I've worked with that helped bring campaigns to me. So that is another good opportunity. There's a company I'm working with now called Influential, and they've been very professional. I'm working on a campaign with them. You guys will see something at the end of the month or in or even in September dealing with that potentially. So that's going to be really good. Who have I worked with previously? That stuff's in my media kit. We showed it earlier. But yeah, so those are just different opportunities. The main thing is, if you have the ability to say, I'm going to go directly to where the opportunities are instead of waiting for the opportunities to come to me, there's a lesser chance of things going wrong. So that becomes really, really important. So some of you have questions about things like, okay, well, what about management and talent agencies? What I just showed you is 2 PR firms. Now that's different than talent management. Some of them also do that, but that's different. But in terms of talent management with me, I don't do exclusivity with those. I don't have management and someone doing representation for me. There are some big names out there for that I have worked with. One of them being my friend Sean Doris's company, Space Station Integrations. You guys have probably heard of them. They've been great to work with in the past, and they've gotten me my sponsorships with Storyblocks, for example. So they've brought me stuff like Storyblocks before, and that's worked out, and that's been good. I think there's 1 or 2 other deals that they've brought me in the past. I don't always take everything. Now, what I would say is with a lot of those, you have to remember that if you work with a talent management company, even if it's non-exclusive, they will take 20% of whatever the deal is. And they're also probably getting paid by the brand as well. This is industry standard. This is perfectly normal. They're not ripping you off. 20% of something is better than 20% of nothing. So for a lot of you, that would be the direction that you'd want to go in. Industry standard, they take 20%. So space station integrations is one. If someone's a much, much larger influencer than me, they can probably work with Night Media. They've managed some huge talent in before. Another one that works with mid-sized creators, but probably mostly in tech and business and finance, I could probably work with these people, is Creators Agency. I'm going to try and bring up their website. Creators Agency. And yep, here it goes. Here it goes. All right, so yeah, Creators Agency. So they work with people like Jack Gordon. They work with Financial Wolf. They work with Jenny Hoyos. They work with a lot of people. They work with Magnates Media. I love Magnates Media. Preston Goes, Joseph Hughes. So there are quite a few people they do work with. And you can see that they do work with mid-tier and macro creators. So they work with people, that are in the couple 100,000s range of YouTube. I would imagine they work with creators. They work with 200 creators. They probably work with creators that are at least 100K or higher. But they work with a lot of great brands. Start Engine, Corsia, StreamYard, Printful, Kudos, HP, so there's a lot, Weeble. So a lot of opportunities there for people. And so in the tech space, HP, great brand to be able to work with. For lifestyle creators, they work with Manscaped. For those people like me, they also work with vidIQ for lifestyle relationship content, Match.com. So they have a variety of brands they work with. Ground News could be a good one. ShipStation could be good for a business side channel. So Shopify is a great one. E-commerce, everyone knows Shopify, household name. Capital One's a household name. Audible is great. I'm a big audiobook fan. Grammarly. So again, working with an agency means that there could be multiple brand deals and you won't have a problem, and there might be long-term relationships. And so that's the benefit of working with an agency. However, whatever deal they bring to your doorstep, 20% goes to them. So if it's a $5,000 contract, you get $4,000, the agency gets $1,000. That's it. And then each of you has to give the IRS their pound of flesh. So that's how that opportunity works. So My C Prince says, hey, Roberto, sorry if I didn't make myself clear. When looking at brands and researching them, find out who they have already worked with and contact those creators, etc. Yes, I believe 100% in reaching out to other creators and finding out what their experience has been, whether it's working with brands, working with agencies, even collaborating with other creators, finding out what that experience is like and hearing it from other creators. Absolutely. I'm good with that. Salon Guy, what's up, man? Appreciate you. Hey, Roberto, I create a handful of Kajabi courses I haven't been selling yet. Am I also hardly promoting them? What are the strategies you could suggest, making a promo into all my YouTube videos, etc.? Thank you. Okay, so it is Monetization Monday, so I can still answer this even though we're focused on brand deals right now. So what I would say, Salon Guy, is this. One, if you make a product, you also definitely need to craft an excellent landing page for your product. So primary example, we'll just use the brand deal starter kit as my example. While this is not a course, it is a done for you product. So let's look over what's good about my landing page, and y'all could tell me what's good about my landing page. So this is the brand deal starter kit. I'm going to link to it here in the chat for you guys. So this is the brand deal starter kit. Immediately, I tell you that this is templates and resources for creators to price, pitch, and package sponsored content. You immediately get an understanding of what there is that's offered in the brand deal starter kit: media templates, media kit templates, email swipe files, sponsor list, pricing guides, etc., etc. I immediately lead with the fact that over 500 creators have used this and are using this to earn money with their brand deals now. I go on to list all the benefits and things that are in there. And I get into some of the details of helping you understand that we have a master list of sponsors that work with content creators, that we have media kit templates that you can fully customize, email swipe files for reaching out to brands. And then you get to know a little bit more about me as the person behind the product. So in general, this is a good approach to something like a product of some kind, even if it was a course product. So the salon guy, one thing is, do you have a great landing page? That's one thing. Two, do you have free email lead magnets, and do you have an email list? If you aren't selling your product, do you have an email list? Have you marketed your product to your email list? You want to do that. That becomes very important. Do you have people in your industry that you have great relationships with? And for those people that you have great relationships within your industry, have you offered them the ability to become an affiliate partner or a JV partner where they can get 30% of every sale they bring you for your product if they promote your product on their social media platforms or to their email list? Offer them 30 to 50%. Getting 70 to 50% of a sale is better than 100% of zero sales. So have partners in your network that serve the same clientele as you, that are willing to say they don't want to make a course, they don't want to make a product, but they are happy to profit from one. So get them to sell yours. So then that brings in sales. So I have a video about people who do coaching businesses coming up. Hopefully maybe later this week, that video released, probably maybe by the weekend at least. So the thing is, if you want to run an education business or a coaching business, and you're going to sell coaching or courses, have great landing pages, have an email list, have petite people in your network who also have email list, be willing to make them affiliates, let them sell for you, give them a commission. Also, you should be marketing this. And if it's too much to promote it in a YouTube video, which you can and you should, but not every video maybe, at least be promoting it in your YouTube community tab. If you're not promoting, then you're not going to get traffic and sales for this thing. So everything in the flywheel of profit is traffic, trust, and transaction. So you have an offer out there that you're not driving traffic to. You're not doubling down and taking advantage of the trust you've already built with your own audience by promoting it to them, or your network partners by having them promote and sell it. So you're not leveraging trust. And then you can't be surprised that there's not these transactions because you're not leveraging the other two things in the flywheel. So for you, the salon guy, that's what I would say is probably going on when it comes to that. Make the pictures a little bit larger, maybe wider. Okay, yeah, something to think about. So again, you just want to make sure that you have the ability, even like what we talked about for brand deals, is you need to be communicating and demonstrating your value. And then you need to give people the opportunity to buy in. And you also have to make sure that you're really thinking about, how do you drive traffic? Why do you have trust? How easy is it to do this transaction? So it's really still down to, okay, I have tremendous content. That's what I bring to the table. That justifies traffic happening because, hey, I have this great content. Of course I have traffic. So then you have traffic. Hey, in the content, I'm delivering and creating all this value, and I've been doing it consistently and reliably, so people trust me. Fantastic. I have more to give, more to offer, but the gateway to that offer is doing a transaction with me. I've delivered value for you in the past. Trust me to deliver value for you now. Transaction. So that's the business flywheel for creative entrepreneurs is traffic, trust, and transaction. And this is something I teach all the time. I drill this into my Academy Pro group members, and it's done everything from help people not only launch with their courses, but even people who do merchandise. Like I have a creator that's coming in one of the new episodes of the podcast. It's he's a gaming content creator. He's also the founder of Illustrials. It's my friend A Drive. So Dan did a podcast episode with me. We talked about how he did a 6-figure merch drop off of an idea that we created in our coaching together. We came up with an idea, Team Shiny, 6-figure merch drop, fantastic opportunity for him and his family. And so they did a 6-figure merch drop. And that was the beginning of really going hard on product development, and then helped inspire him to do the card game Illustrials. And now they're doing a TGC card game that's getting traction. It's going to be up there with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and it's really good. It's a really cool game. So we have that podcast episode dropping soon, and you'll learn a lot more about that. But if you build enough traffic and trust, you will get transactions. You will get people to buy from you. It won't be all of your audience, but it'll be, anywhere from 1% to 5% of your audience. And that's enough once your audience is large enough. That's enough to make a significant difference. The same is true for brand deals and for the affiliate marketing component, in terms of they understand that the majority of your audience won't always watch something. The majority of your audience won't always buy something. The majority of your audience won't always click something. They understand that. Brands are not dumb and they're not entitled. They do understand. But they are looking for some return on investment. If you diversify the means by which you are creating value for them, then they are happier to work with you, because if you only sell reach, that is the only thing you'll be graded on, and it's the only thing that will determine your pricing. So I want you to understand that. If you only sell reach, that's all the brand will pay for. So don't only sell reach. Find other opportunities to create value for them. This is why I highly encourage you to start incorporating UGC opportunities into your brand deals, and to also double down with affiliate links. Because if you do an affiliate partnership with a brand before you do a brand deal, or while you're doing the brand deal, you will be able to see if you are driving sales for them and creating value. You'll have proof of that. And if you're not doing an affiliate link situation where you're tracking the sales, then you at least want to track the traffic. So you're going to want to use Genius Link to at least do that, so that even if they give you a tracking link, if they're not sharing the data with you, run it through Genius Link. That way you have tracking on it as well. Just make them confirm that it's not disrupting anything on their end to attribute traffic and sales to you. Get a coupon code for your audience so that they can track the sales as well. And so you can ask your audience if they've been using the discount codes. And then you'll kind of be able to say, I know, and I can prove that I'm creating some value for you. And if that's not enough to negotiate better with the brand that you're dealing with, it will help you in your negotiations with a different brand to be able to say, yeah, we drove all this traffic for this other campaign, and this is the amount of clicks we got, this is the amount of views it did, so on and so forth. So being able to do that's important. I also think a lot of you should always try to see if it's possible to negotiate a multi-video deal. If you can't initially right off the bat build a long-term relationship that has a 6-month commitment or a 12-month commitment, at least start with a multi-video deal instead of a single video deal. That way, if you at least do a multi-video deal for 3 or 5 videos, one, you'll make more money, but you have more opportunity in case 1 or 2 of them is a dud. If at least one of them performs well, you have a track record of performance. If it doesn't work out and the relationship doesn't continue, you have 3 pieces or 5 pieces of content in your body of work of working with a brand and that you can show off in the next brand deal relationship. So then that becomes important. And by the way, you guys can feel free to ask questions here. I don't want to I have a lot of good information, but I don't want to fill up dead air just to do it. I will answer your questions if you give me your questions. Just put the word question in the live chat. while you're typing out your question. That way I know and I can highlight and prioritize it. And I will answer your questions if you ask me something. So the salon guy says, this is an interesting one. I used to be hungry for brand deals years ago, but over the last 2 years, I lost my interest dealing with other brands. Would doing affiliate deals be a better option? It might be, because we have to wonder, why were you, I'm curious as to why you lost interest in dealing with other brands. Was it that you felt not as authentic promoting somebody else's stuff instead of your own? Was it that you weren't satisfied with what you were being paid, but with affiliate commissions, getting a percentage feels better? So the thing is, I don't think it's a choice between affiliates and brand deals. I think it's that you always try to do both, and you try to do them as much as you can. Because with affiliate deals, you're making commissions, and with brand deals, you're getting upfront money, sometimes recurring revenue. If I can, I'm not going to choose between them. I'm going to get both. So my answer is get both. Make all the money, all the ways, as much as you can. So Home Rapid Repair, Larry, hey, question, Roberto. This brand wants to send me an $800 electric water heater for a video demo installing it. I'm thinking about saying yes just to get the relationship. So here's the thing. I think that's actually a great opportunity for you, Larry, but I think it's not just a relationship. I think for you, it's good content. It's going to be really good content for you. And the thing is, if I were you, I would try to figure out how you can make more than one video out of that content. So if you're going to get an electric water heater, I think that you should think and brainstorm getting at least a trilogy, at least getting 3 videos out of that opportunity, because congratulations, they just supported the materials for your next video, and for you to do a higher end video than you might have been able to do, because you wouldn't come out $800 out of pocket to make this video. So they just essentially, by sending you that, financed your video. Now, here's what you do. If you make 3 pieces of content with that $800 electric water heater and you do that for them, yeah, people will be saying, they're thinking, oh, they're getting all this free content. No, you're getting all this free content, Larry. You're getting to make this content because you need content to be a YouTuber. If they're supplying the materials for your project, nothing bad happened to you just because they're getting some promo and demo and a shout out. The materials you use in a DIY or how-to or unboxing or tech video are going to get shouted out regardless. At least you didn't come out of pocket for these materials. You get to make a video you wouldn't otherwise be able to, and you always have to make content. This is also going to be something that will be able to be used, like we said, to encourage more people to send you more materials, more free stuff. Then when you have your media kit, you're able to say, oh, and I've worked with these with brands such as this one in the past, and you're able to put like 4 or 5 logos in there. And then, okay, as far as the brands know, you might have worked with more companies, and these are the 4 or 5 that you wanted to put in your media kit portfolio and to show off. And so that's helpful. And so that could be very valuable to you. The other thing that comes into play here is, yes, you'll have that relationship. If they see that you made 3 videos, we thought you were only going to make 1. If they're going to work with anyone, Larry, after that, they're going to work with you. They're going to say, Home Rapid Repair, we sent out water heaters to 10 influencers, and 3 of them didn't even make a video when we sent them out the thing and found a reason to not make the video. And the others, like 6, they made 1 video. That Larry guy at Home Rapid Repair, he made us 3 videos, and they did great. And people responded to it in the comments, and, he was really gracious and he was easy to work with. You know what? We'll never work with these other 9 influencers again. We could work with Larry. Wonder if Larry knows anybody else that we should be working with. Get that Larry guy on the line. We got a budget. He's getting the budget. Screw these other 9 guys that didn't want to really do anything for us. Let's go with Larry. Larry gets that budget. So that's why you want to do that. A lot of people are afraid to go above and beyond. They think that they're going to get screwed over. They think, oh my God, I'm giving up all this free labor. What? You have to make a video anyway. You're a content creator. You should be making as much content as you can. You should be making as much high value, high quality content as you can. If you can pull it off, you should be making content. If you can pull it off, you should be making content every single day, or at least working on content every single day. So what bad thing happened to you if a brand sent you hundreds of dollars of free products and you made a video for free? You had to make a video for free on YouTube no matter what. And then you were going to get AdSense. So just put in the ads, just turn on the monetization. If you didn't, and then it's just another Tuesday of making a YouTube video. And I'm not, kind of yelling at you with that, Larry. I'm talking about people who whine and cry all the time about the idea of working for free. When you do YouTube, you are working essentially for free for a very long time in most cases. There are ways to get around that with affiliate links for Amazon Influencer Program and other things directly. And there's a lot of opportunities. So I would say try to get 3 videos out of the thing, make that work for you. And then, you have a great opportunity. My C Print says, hey, home wrap repair, maybe fit the water heater in a charity or create a story around it. The second video can be a DIY fitting. Third, going over the specs. That's a maybe with the charity stuff. I would avoid that currently. It's a wonderful thing generally, but people are getting in their feelings about the idea of content creators using charity for content. So maybe that's not a good look right now. It's a good thought, but no good deed goes unpunished to some degree. So right now, I'm not recommending people that. I'm not recommending people do large giveaways or cash giveaways. Small giveaways are fine. Giveaways are your merch. Sometimes working with a brand and just giving away a product that you also got could be okay if it's a small enough item, because it's just getting weird out in these YouTube and content creator streets with how people feel about giveaways and how people feel about charity being used as content. So personally, I think you're coming from a good place, my C Prince. So I think you're coming from a good place. I'm just saying that the way it is in the culture right now, maybe not a good look to turn charity into content. Probably not a good look to be doing all kinds of giveaways. Just saying. Yeah, Clover Tack, take advantage of monetizing what you already do. 100%. I believe in that. Clover Tack, thank you for the $5 super chat. Let's see. Sending out my 2025 opportunities in October, attempting to fill all my spots for 2025 before it begins. Many companies have asked for this. Any thoughts? Oh, that's a fantastic idea. I do like that. Getting ahead by a quarter or trying to fill the 2025 budget, absolutely. Clever Tax says, I stopped doing giveaways at some time ago. Instead, I've shifted into a game show night, much more fun. Yeah, I mean, for me, the last of the physical product giveaways, some people didn't get back to me. I still have some people who were in the giveaway form from way back when we hit 600K to give away some microphones too. So we have a couple of these Deity microphones, and I bought those out of pocket. We have a couple of Deity microphones to give away, so I can give away some more of those. And I'll just pick people who are already on the spreadsheet, and then for people on the spreadsheet, if they get me their details, I'll give it to whoever gets back to me, and then we'll just offload the last of these microphones. I'll probably maybe take a couple of bucks from the YouTube channel members and the super chats, and I'll probably take that and buy a couple of more $50 and $100 microphones, quietly give those away to people who entered into previous one for the 600,000 subscriber giveaway, and then just get those out. And then for me, the only thing I'll probably give away after that is my own merchandise and maybe discounts or coupons on my digital products. So that's probably the only way I'm going to do giveaways here in the near future, because there's just so much complications with giveaways and things like that and prizes that at this point, it's going to be impossible for people to be happy or to think stuff is being done the right way. So it's it's kind of not worth it at this point. Same thing for tying content to charity. It just invites a lot of scrutiny to it and whether it's legitimate or not. So, you know, I get it. People are coming from a good place. And it's also not wrong to be skeptical of things or to wonder if things are legit or a scam. But, you know, there is a, what's the saying? This is why we can't have nice things. I think that's how the saying goes. So, yeah. So y'all know what I'm talking about. But, yeah. With regard to the partnership stuff, again, one of the things I think is important also is to consider what your demographics are and the role that that plays in the brand's partnership. It also plays a role in who you're able to represent as an audience and what the alignment is. So yes, they can pull some of those stats, but they may not be able to pull all of them or average them across your platforms. And maybe you want to do it that way. So that becomes an opportunity. And then you get other data that they may not be able to see. So for example, they can't see my website traffic as easily. They can't see my email open rates. They don't know how big my customer database is. They don't know, and I could update this because we have 90 Trustpilot reviews now. So that can be updated. Excuse me. So that's an opportunity. Kia says, you need help approaching and finding tech. You mean tech brands to work with? If you're talking about tech brands to work with, I would start with reviewing tech products you already own on your channel, maybe tagging some of those brands in social media and saying, hey, look what I did. And then also I would make sure that you're either in their affiliate program or the Amazon influencer program and that you're doing reviews over there. And even content in the Amazon influencer program, and using that as another opportunity to make money and also to get data and to show that you can generate traffic and sales and conversion rates. And those go a long way in your ability to, show and demonstrate to brands that you can deliver ROI for them. So I think that is kind of the way you should be, in my opinion, that's how you should be looking at that potential opportunity. So that's where I would go with that. I think that the content formats you do also kind of let a brand understand what you have to offer and where there might be a good fit for either a dedicated video or an integration that would make sense. So right now, there's a one-off brand deal I'm doing for a campaign. There's a one-off campaign I'm doing, and it's on a piece of content that I would do anyway, so it's going to pay me really well for that. It's a couple $1,000. It's less than $10,000, but it's great, and I'm very happy with it. And it's with one of my favorite dream clients, and it'll be maybe the fifth time we've done something together, but probably only the first or second time we've done something on my channel instead of their channel. So that's great, but it's a dream client. You'll see it in September, I think. And it's a couple of grand to do a video I was going to already make that was literally on my list. So easy. Happy to do that. There's 2 new clients I've never had a relationship with. And then there is a group of 3 companies that work together. And I'm going to try to work with either all 3 or at least 2 of them. One has a great product for creators that's going to help with brand deals, ironically enough. So one has one's doing more of a live streaming play. And the other one's a little tricky, because I have to see if it interferes with another relationship. So I'll work with 2 out of 3 of the companies for sure that they're bringing to me. But the third one, it might be a conflict of interest with another thing that I'm working on. So that one might have to let that go. But there are 2 other 6-month relationships that I'm working on deals for right now. If I can get them, it'll be great. If I can get them, it'll be great. So Gardening with Brown Bear has a question. So Gardening with Brown Bear says, question, after doing product reviews for companies, when should you start trying to get a long-term deal with them? Do I just keep doing product reviews until they offer a deal? No. What you do is, one, if you've been doing product reviews, start doing research on these companies and look at who have they already worked with and who have they started paying already. Find the influencers in your niche that are already getting paid by the brands you want to be paid by. Reach out to those influencers, try and see if they can give you information, see if some of them are even willing to make an introduction for you. This is why networking is important. I'm working on a video outline to teach you guys networking as a content creator. It's undervalued. I'm going to be annoyed if I make this video and y'all don't watch it. If I make a video on networking as a content creator when it's literally one of the most important things you could do that would ever change your career and the trajectory of your opportunities for brand deals, collaborations, other opportunities, getting some help and insight into your channel from other people in your niche, being able to partner with people. If I do a video about networking and y'all do not support the living hell out of that video, I'm going to be genuinely upset. I'm going to be genuinely upset. As many of y'all get comments and tell me, oh, please do a video about networking. Please do it. If y'all don't watch this thing, I'm going to be mad. I'm not playing with y'all. I'm going to be mad. Okay. So that's a whole thing. So the networking aspect when it comes to brand deals is if you do it correctly, you can ask, if you build genuine relationships, you can ask people to introduce you to the point of contact at a brand, not just give you the email, set up a thing, intro you, say nice things about you. You want people that you're really down with to say the right things about you and speak about you in rooms where opportunities exist when you're not there. You want people to be talking about you in rooms where opportunities and budgets exist when you're not there. And so if you're not building those networking relationships, if you're not cultivating that, if you don't have people speaking your name in rooms that matter without you being there, you need to be on that. You need to be on that. And if you don't know where to start, you don't know how to do it, that's why I'm going to make a whole bloody video on it. And if you don't watch it, I'm going to be mad. Yeah, as much as people say the phrase, it's all about who you know. It's all about who you know. Have any of y'all ever bought a book on networking? Have any of y'all ever bought a book on networking? How many conferences have y'all been to? How many events have y'all been to in a year? Think about it. It matters a lot. My C Princess question, not related to YouTube. If I link my video to a video made by you, for instance, would I get the watch time or anything from YouTube? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You only get watch time on your own videos. What red flags? Ken Lang says, Roberto, what red flags do you have to pay attention to during talks with brands? The phrase, we don't have a budget, is a red flag. Oh, do I really want to hang out? Do I want a partnership? Do I want a relationship with a broke brand? You don't have a budget? Are you guys a broke brand? Really? You know, so that's a thing. So consider that phrase of, oh, we don't have a budget. If they're not saying we'll send you a contract, no deal. Get everything in writing. If they don't send you a contract, don't consider them legitimate. No contract, no deal. So that's one thing you would definitely look for as well. You don't want them to say something like, hey, we need you to buy this product and then we'll reimburse you. That's a scam. Don't do it. So no contract, no deal, none of this, buy the thing and we'll reimburse you. None of that nonsense either. Kaya, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says, yes, I need help with networking. Yeah, everyone needs a little help with networking. Absolutely. My friend Clover Tack is correct here with his comment. He says, I see less red flags and more subtle nuance you got to be able to pick up on. Really need to be able to read people. This is why when it comes to reaching out to brands, my go-to is to get them from email to getting them into a Zoom call. You want to get them into a Zoom call or a Google Meet. Why do you want to get them into a Zoom call and a Google Meet? Because it's harder to BS you and it's harder to finesse you if you get on a live call. If you get on a live call, you can negotiate, you can wheel and deal, you can read the room, you can read body language, you could read facial expressions, you can read micro expressions, you can cold read them right then and there, and you can work your magic and charisma. It's a little harder potentially for them to maybe finesse you on that meeting, but you really will usually get better results if you can get them on a call. And that makes it easier for you to read what's going on and to not be insecure and to kind of just get a feel for them, get a vibe. So that's another important distinction. This is one of those things that, again, I teach creators that I work with, whether I'm working with people one-on-one or I work in the Academy Pro group, or we talk about it in these live streams or in the content that I make. This is some of the advice that is in the education portion of the Brand Deal Starter Kit. Aside from all the templates, and aside from us having a master list with 100 brands that you could reach out to, aside from us having that, one of the things in the Brand Deal Starter Kit is it does teach you how to properly pitch to brands. And, so that's the thing. This is also why, for me, the workshops are important. Whether we do a virtual workshop or you come to an in-person workshop here in Atlanta, the virtual workshops are important because I believe that learning to properly speak to the brands, seeing how that would go down, seeing the role play, seeing the back and forth, or hearing it, like that becomes very valuable in terms of understanding better communication when it comes to working through these relationships, being able to ask the right questions, being able to think on your feet, being able to redirect and pivot, not taking no for an answer, being able to get to a different yes. If necessary, get to a different yes. These are all things. They can be learned. It's less about them being taught and more about them being learned. Seeing it and hearing it and feeling it and experiencing it is really how you learn. So the demonstration becomes the instruction. It's not a matter of teaching it. I can tell you to do these things. Experiencing and watching someone do the role play or going through a role play exercise yourself is really the key to being able to do this more effectively. And then after that, you gain experience. The way you get experience without making mistakes is through the role play experience or by watching the role play experience. So Victor says, hey, Roberto, question. Do you need significant following to get good brand deals? I'm under 2K subs on YouTube and I don't know how to grow other social medias like X, Insta, or TikTok, and I'm an anti-tuber. Victor, can you explain to me what an anti-tuber is? I'm not sure I know the term. I'm not Gen Z, so I'm not hip to the lingo. So I don't know what an anti-tuber is exactly. So if you could explain it to me, that will at least help a little bit. Because I don't know that slang. Oh, Annie-tuber. Did it Annie-tuber, not anti-YouTuber. Okay. So Annie-tuber, anime YouTuber. Okay. So if you're an anime YouTuber specifically, and I've worked with Victor, you probably know this. I've worked with some of the best of them. Anime Balls Deep. I've talked to Anime Uproar. I can't remember if I ever coached them. And I've worked with Geekdom 101. There's a lot of anime YouTubers that I've worked with in the past. Opus Senpai, just a lot of different people. What I would say is this. In general, anime YouTubers struggle to get good brand deals if they're smaller. It's a bad enough struggle if they're at 100K. So if you're an anime YouTuber, you don't have to wait to 100,000 subscribers to be able to get brand deals, but it's not going to be great, and you're not going to get good brand deals if you're under at least 30,000 or 50,000 unless you're getting very, very, very high views. There are strategies for an anime YouTuber to use short form content to grow YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok. And, those are strategies that I know and that I've helped people to do. And I've helped them. I've helped for example, there's this One Piece YouTuber that's just absolutely crushing it. His strategy probably won't work for you. But what I will say is this. When it comes to your niche, there's a very limited scope of ways you can monetize because you're using other people's intellectual property. So merchandise, not as easy to do because you cannot do other people's intellectual property, not without licensing, not without some difficulty. Does it mean you can make no merch? Nah, but it's also very, very difficult for you. And it's difficult to sell that merch because they care. You know how anime fans are. They really don't care as much about the anime creator as they care about the anime. And it's not even close. So that becomes a barrier to sales on the merchandise. Digital products, out the window. A lot of that audience is broke. And if they do spend money, they spend it on $400 anime statues. So that's out the window. Okay, so what now? So merchandise probably out. Digital products is probably out. What's left? It's really if you can do any kind of affiliate for the merchandise that does exist that they would buy, do the affiliate side, probably through the Amazon influencer program. And then it is also the ability to do sponsorship, usually because it's going to be broad scale entertainment brands. It's going to be things like NordVPN or Surfshark, or it might be Crunchyroll, it might be this. And there's so many entertainment YouTubers, so many anime YouTubers, and the creators for that are so young that it drags down the price. And so the pricing is not very good. And it's definitely not very good if you are a smaller content creator. So Victor, your best bet is to revisit brand deals when you're at like 20,000, 30,000, specifically in your anime YouTube niche. What I would tell you is if you want to make money and you want to be a full-time content creator, you might be passionate about anime. Consider making a channel on the side that has more profitability so that even if you have to work a little bit harder and you're not as passionate about that other thing, it's something that makes much more money and has more opportunities. That way, you're not stressed out about the fact that you're doing it. Because I think you're doing anime YouTube because you're passionate about anime. But if you want to be a full-time content creator, Victor, I would say while you're small and doing that passion content, you could be inconsistent at that. I would get consistent on something I'm less passionate about that makes money, whether that's either an online business that you can do as a one-person business to make money. Maybe it's a UGC agency and you go into a niche where you do product reviews and you make money. Or maybe you do a faceless YouTube channel that makes money. Then that gets you out of the 9-to-5 job and making good money and not stressing. And now you can grow your anime channel as you need to because you can be passionate about it, but you don't need it to make money. And then you're not even worried about the brand deals. I would go until you get to maybe 50 or 100K. So it may not be the answer you want to hear, but it is the most reasonable answer I think I can give you because I think it makes more sense to go in this direction. Because I think that when creators want to make the thing that they're most passionate about, if it's a passion that doesn't have profit to it, not really, or is very difficult to make profitable, or that has a lot of hangups like copyright restrictions or censorship or a lot less options to monetize, then to be able to make that passion work, it needs a profit engine. It needs something to fund the passion. So I would say, I believe in profit first. And I'm just like, okay, find something that I can do that makes me good money, that I don't hate, do that. Then I can be as passionate as hell over here on the other thing that I care about. And then if it never makes any money, I don't care. And so you could just focus on maybe getting it to 1 million subscribers. And then it's at least making AdSense revenue. But you know that you have a different channel that's making good money to help you be a full-time content creator, or that you're doing UGC for brands and you're making good money doing that, or that you're running some kind of online business venture that you don't hate, at least not compared to your 9-to-5 job, that makes better money with less time. So I would make better money, less time. Then I got all this extra room and all this extra money to do the thing I'm passionate about. And who cares if it, makes any money? I could just focus on the growth. If anything, if it's a passion project, great. if you can focus on the growth, the best thing for a passion project, something you're really, oh, this is my passion, this is my passion. Best thing is if you can just grow it without ever worrying about making money. But we need money to eat and to live and all that. So, okay, let me do something I'm good at. That's not my 9-to-5 job that I like a little bit, that makes me really good money with less time. So I believe in that. So I would just, figure out making more money with less time, and then just figure out growing my audience for my passion project. And then that's what I would probably try to do, because I already know it's not impossible to make an anime channel a full-time channel, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication, and it's a lot of heartache because of copyright claims, if nothing else. And then the fact that you can't do merchandise usually because of the licensing problems, and because you don't want to get sued by Toei or Shueisha or somebody. So yeah, so that's the thing I would say for you. CleverTax says, by the way, it's not just who you know, but you have to know the right people. I see creators who know CEOs, but not the media and marketing people. The latter is where the deals generally come from. Oh, yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. Yeah, LinkedIn can be a good way to connect with people, but I find people are less active on LinkedIn. I find that people are active on their IG, aka Instagram, or on x.com, aka Twitter. So I find that also is a thing. Kia, if you want, you get tech products sometimes. We want a tech brand partnership. Okay, so first goal, grow to somewhere like between 10 and 50,000 subscribers. So at least be at the lower end or the higher end of being a micro influencer. So 10,000 to 50,000 YouTube subscribers to get paid partnerships for tech. If you want paid partnerships instead of just getting free products. So I'm going to be straight up. A lot of people are going to say, oh, you can do this, you can do that. I don't think you get the deals that you'll want to say yes to unless you do 10,000, 50,000 subscribers. So I put all of my energy into doing that if you want tech brand partnerships that will pay good money. The alternative to that is that you don't use your reach, use your production value, and then you approach it from trying to do UGC, which means it's not on your social media, it's on a brand's social media. So it'd be, okay, I'm doing this thing and it's for this, like maybe it's this third-party brand, maybe it's like Movi or somebody like that, somebody who's a third party brand, or Tamron or whoever. And then you're doing that and it's on their social media channels. It's on their Instagram. It's on their YouTube channel. It's on their TikTok, whatever. And then they might pay $100 to $500 for that. There are places like marketplaces like IZEA. There's marketplaces like IZEA.com, IZEA.com, where you can look for campaigns. And a lot of them, the budget's going to be $100 to $500. You film some content for them. They're going to post it on their social media usually. And you do that UGC content. There are apps and agencies for UGC out there. And then you do that. All of a sudden, if you can hustle enough UGC content, and it's $100 to $500 a video to make a vertical video product review with voiceover for somebody else's brand, you might feel like you're, oh my God, I'm getting ripped off. It's like, no, you're not. You spent 1 to 2 hours, 1 to 3 hours to get $100 to $500. Yeah. And if you can do that 1 or 2 times a week, you can make decent enough money to start the process to becoming a content creator that can do this sustainably full-time until your audience grows. And then using your platform for reach is actually worth something to a brand at that point. So I would approach things from that perspective and also from that mindset. A lot of this is mindset. And a lot of you are, you're thinking about, I want to get paid. I want to do brand deals. I want to do this. I want to do that. What a lot of you need to be thinking about is, how do I create value for a brand? What do I bring to the table for a brand? What can I offer them? And you have to remember that what you have to offer them has to be significant, because there's people other than you that are offering value too. There are other people that have more to bring to the table than you. So you have to make it worth a brand's while. And it's very hard for you if you don't have something significant or rare to bring to the table. That's why for some of you, the answer is not always going to be your reach. Your reach will be slow to improve. Is it faster to improve your reach over the next 6 months to be significant? Or can you do something that improves your social proof and status over the next 6 months that's significant? What can you do to increase your reputation that then makes your endorsement valuable to a brand? If I was a smaller photography channel, let's say I was a photography channel. Let's say I was doing Roberto's gear guide. Let's say I was doing Roberto's gear guide. I was doing Roberto's tech tips. Let's say I was a tech and gear channel. Let's say I had 5,000 subscribers and my main audience is I do camera reviews, camera gear, and photography tips. Let's say that was my profile and I'm at 5,000 YouTube subscribers. There's very little I could do in 6 months to impress a brand and go from 5,000 YouTube subscribers to 50,000 YouTube subscribers. I probably can't do that in 6 months. Probably very difficult to go from 5,000 to 20,000 in 6 months. You know what I could do that would impress a brand in 6 months? If I was a photographer and I was a YouTube channel about photography and I only had 5,000 subscribers, I'd spend that 6 months applying to and competing in photography competitions, and I would become an award-winning photographer in 6 months. I would do everything I can in 6 months to a year to become an award-winning photographer. Because if I become an award-winning photographer, that is more credibility than even if I got my YouTube channel any bigger. It is better for me to become an award-winning photographer than to spend 6 months trying to get to 20,000 subscribers from 5,000 subscribers. Because even if I got 20,000 subscribers, I'm more likely to add value to a brand being an award-winning photographer than being a 20,000 subscriber YouTuber. I'm probably more likely to bring value to a brand being an award-winning photographer than being a 100,000 photographer. It's better for me to say, I'm a Sports Illustrated photographer. I'm a National Geographic photographer. I'm an AP photographer. It's more important for me to say that than to have 100,000 subscribers in terms of social proof and credibility if I wanted to work with anybody in the camera niche. So being real world social proof, credentials, and accolades would be infinitely more valuable than just growing a bigger YouTube channel. If it's less than 1 million subscribers, if you have less than 1 million subscribers, it is simpler, faster, and easier to go out and win an industry award, get a credential. For some of you, it might be easier to go from your bachelor's and just get a damn master's degree faster than you can grow a YouTube channel or a PhD or a doctorate. And then you have a real credential that makes you much more rare and easier to sell even while you're small, and it'll become even more valuable as you get bigger. It is faster to increase social proof than audience size for most people. And it's something that people completely, it goes over their head and they overlook it. One of my clients, he now has a over 100,000 subscriber YouTube channel, another silver play button channel that I helped to grow within the coaching niche. Like I'll tell you a story. So there is a YouTube channel that I helped grow, and it's in the sports and athletics niche. But spoiler alert, the content creator is a doctor. He's a doctor. So for the sports and athletics niche, he brings a different dimension to it because while he's passionate about the sport, he's a doctor. So he's got that extra level of social proof status and clout, and his name and reputation is more valuable and he's taken more seriously. And he gets very lucrative brand deals, not because of the size of his YouTube channel, but because he's a doctor. And yeah, I understand most of you can't go out and become a doctor, but it certainly is just an example of how your credentials, your reputation, your social proof, your status is much more meaningful, even when you're small, to get opportunities than if you were just a bigger channel. And realistically, it is more realistic to change your social proof and status in 6 months to a year than to drastically change your audience size in 6 months to a year. Not everyone's going to be Roberto, be at 20,000 subscribers, and then take 14 months and get to 100,000. Not everyone's going to do that. But that's my origin story. My story is I went from 20,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers in about a year. Now, the trick to that, I did daily content. I made 800 videos. That's how I did it. Brute force. I still believe in brute force to this day. And it works, and I see it work. I see brute force working in a new way now. YouTube Shorts is brute force, and it's been killing it. So yeah, so that, that's something that I do tend to think about quite a bit when it comes to this. Let's see. Make Roberto daily again. Yep, absolutely. Working on it, Gabe. Clever Tax says, about a year ago, poor thing, I'm only at 20K and about a year, you poor thing. Been doing this for a long time, but me is only 100%. The social proof carries me. Yeah, social proof is a big deal. Like me, I did daily for 3.5 years, I think it was. I did daily for like 3.5 years. When I did that, I grew the most. Oh man, but was that, oh my God, was that a grind? That was a grind, even back then. MR707 says, I do okay on shorts, but not 10 million views in 90 days. Good. Yeah. The monetization for requirements for shorts, I don't love them. I'm not in love with those. I have a simpler method for just getting the watch time on YouTube. The simpler method for just getting the watch time on YouTube is just to get, if you need to do it in a year, if you literally get 12 hours a day of watch time on YouTube, you'd have the watch time in a year, 12 hours a day. If you have 24 hours of watch time in a day, it's 6 months to get your channel monetized. So the thing is, I am for people making interesting but extreme long form and funneling people to a long form video, because literally every view on that goes long term, or if it's a live stream, or if you're live streaming for 2 hours every day, once you get your initial audience of your first couple hundred subscribers, if you just live streamed or vertical live streamed every day, you would literally be getting hundreds of hours potentially a week. Hundreds of hours a week of watch time. You could just vertical live stream and speed run your watch time requirement on YouTube by just getting people to watch the stream. And vertical gives you more exposure. If you're like, oh, no one will find me, or if you just have even 200 subscribers and you can at least get a couple of them to watch you on a live stream and you do something for them, if they're there with you the entire live stream, you're getting at least, if you're there 2 hours, you're getting at least 20 to 40 watch hours a day doing that. If you did that 2 or 3 times a week, you know that you're getting at least 100 watch hours a week. You get 100 watch hours a week. You're getting 400 watch hours a month. So you know it's going to be less than 12 months for you to get it. So you could do that. People just don't want to do it because they're worried about their feed, or they're superstitious about the algorithm, or they're scared that no one will watch. It's like if you literally get 10, 20 people to show up to you for a live stream, you're going to get some of the watch hours you need on YouTube. If people are watching the replay, you're going to get some of the watch hours you need on YouTube. So that's the answer to a lot of it. For a lot of you would be that if your problem is the watch hours. For subscribers, that's going to be a lot harder in general. But you could also, people watch replays and people watch live streams and people come in for the live streams. You could even set the live streams to where people can only chat if they're subscribers only. You could farm a couple of the subscribers that way. So there is an opportunity in order to get subscribers by going the live stream route. And there is an opportunity to absolutely get the watch time. If you want, you could use shorts to get the subscribers, and you could use the live streams to get the watch hours. And then your regular videos sit in the middle, and that's that. So that would actually accomplish quite a bit for you. Kia says, currently at 3,198 watch hours. Yes, I need to do more live streams. People like when I'm live. Oh, absolutely. If people like when you're live, Kia, you could get the watch hours in a month if you just live stream more. If you just live stream more, you schedule the live streams, you announce in your community tab, you could absolutely just get the watch hours. You'd absolutely get the watch hours. You'd even do it a thing. Some of you should do a challenge. Live streaming every day until monetized. Some of you, that's your chat. Some of you, here's the simplest way. You heard it here first from Roberto. The simplest way to get monetized on YouTube is once you have if you have like at least 500 subscribers, because then you qualify for the first level of monetization. 500 subscribers say, hey, I'm going live every single day. You announce in your YouTube community tab, I'll be going live every single day and scheduling live streams every single day until I'm a YouTube partner. Your audience will come through and rally for you. It's like, hey, I'll bring people into this live stream. We're going to hang out. We're going to watch you while we're cleaning the house, or go watch you in the background, listen to you in the background while I'm at the gym, whatever. Just here to support. Let's get you these numbers up. Let's help you get you to partner. What do we got to do? People will do that for you. And so you could literally, at that point, any of you could do this challenge, and you could literally say at 500 subscribers, okay, I'm going live every day until I'm partnered. If you have less than 500, I don't think that strategy is a good strategy. The AI government contractor says, hey, Roberto, what you're saying is so correct. I got monetized the 10th of August with just 4 months after starting my channel, live streams and long form videos, and a good niche. There you go. Absolutely. Congratulations, man. I mean, that'll do it. Okay. So, Kaya, you have 1,762 subs. So you're just under 2,000 subs. For you then, if you need the watch hours and you're literally 900 watch hours away from full monetization, yeah, just stream and you'll get it. MR707 video says, hey, Roberto, I do like a lifestyle type channel, and cars are definitely a part of it. Not really a niche, though. So a niche, in my opinion, is a community of people who enjoy blank. So if you're trying to niche down, what it is, hey, I make videos for people who enjoy blank. I make videos for people who want to achieve blank. I make videos for blank people like me doing blank. So you see what I'm saying? A niche is not about a topic. It's about a group of people and what topics they enjoy that are about them being those type of people. For example, if I was a camera channel, I'd be saying, hey, my name is Roberto Blake, and I make simple camera tutorials that help people fall in love with photography. Hey, I'm Roberto Blake, and I make simple camera tutorials and reviews for people who want to make photography fun again. That's how I would, if I was doing a channel and I wanted to say, okay, I need to have a niche. I'm like, okay, great. A niche is an audience. So what do I want to do? For me, I'm like, oh, if I'm passionate about photography, I love photography. So what do I do? So if I wanted to do, it's like, so I'd be like, hey, everybody, my name is Roberto. I'm really passionate about photography. I love portraits and I love wildlife, and I'm here to help make photography fun again with simple and easy to follow tutorials and camera reviews. That would be how my niche would work. That would be my value proposition. So I would do a value proposition. If I was doing tech YouTube, again, I was doing camera videos, I'd be like, okay, here's who I am. Do you guys relate to that? Okay, cool. Here's what my mission is. Do you support that mission? Do you want to be a part of it? Does that mission serve you? Okay, great. We're going to have a fantastic time doing blank. So the only way to define a niche, in my opinion, is who is the audience avatar. So who is it that you're trying to reach? And what is it that makes sense for them? So if I became a camera channel and I said, hey, I'm Roberto Blake. I'm a portrait and wildlife photographer. I'm here to make photography fun again with simple and easy tutorials and camera reviews. Then my value proposition is clear. Here is what qualifies me to be someone you can listen to. Here's the content we're going to do. Here's the purpose behind it is, okay, we're going to make this something that's not frustrating anymore. We're going to make this something that isn't complicated anymore. And we're going to get you excited to get back out there and get shooting. Like, that's it. So that would be the way that I would approach it. Here's the unique value proposition. Here's what makes me an interesting person. Here's how I'm going to serve you and what I'm going to do that's different from other people. And this is why you'd enjoy it. Now, what that does is it puts me into a place to where now I can have multiple content pillars. So now we can lean into a content pillar that's about what I enjoy and what my expertise is and whether you like that. And I gave you 2 of those if it was me. So, okay, I have things I'm good at that I could help you with. And it'd be portrait photography and wildlife photography. So I'll go ahead and probably stick to a lot of those things. So that's 2 pillars that it gives me. Okay. So what that lets me also do is have unique types of content I can make. I can take you behind the scenes on a portrait shoot. I can take you behind the scenes on a wildlife shoot. So what does that mean? So now we have photo shoots as a content format under my content pillar. And we can make a lot of different video ideas for that. But then I said, hey, we're going to do reviews. So then that means, okay, you got camera reviews, you got lens reviews, you got accessory reviews. So that's different pillars of content under the reviews. Those are different types of videos you can make under the reviews. I could approach those with different formats because I could do, hey, we could do a specs and studio breakdown review. We can do first looks. We could do things like that. But then also we could do a real world review where it's like, let's take this camera out into the field and do a photo shoot with this camera. So then that gives me another pillar type of content. So the thing is, the goal would be to derive 5 or 6 different content pillars and types of content you can make that serve the same exact audience. This is how you can have a little bit of variety in your niche, because your variety is only allowed to be what does this one audience care about? What are things that they could still watch? What could this one audience watch? And what different topics would this one audience member, this one type of audience care about? So if my niche is these people who want photography to be fun again, it's photographers, but they also want photography to be enjoyable again, they want to be excited about photography again, then that means that I can get them excited again by taking them out and showing them how I shoot and making sure it's a fun, engaging thing, and that my personality is not intimidating, doesn't talk down to them. That's about tonality, and that's about personality. So that's where my personality in a niche would come in. People are like, I want to be a personality channel. It's like, okay, how do you make that valuable? What is different about you? What's an experience? What makes you a destination channel? And then it's, hey, if you don't like this type, if there's a different type of photography that you like that I'm not doing, then maybe I'm not your channel. And, you know, maybe that's okay. There you go. Or, hey, maybe you're a Canon shooter. If I'm more of a Sony guy, then that means, okay, you're not my audience. So then that would make a difference. And so you would just kind of figure out these things and navigate them. And this is what content strategy really is. Content strategy isn't just, oh, I'm going to come up with a viral YouTube idea. No. Content strategy is understanding who your audience is, what value for them is, how you bring value, what you bring to the table, how you're able to deliver that, how you're able to make a variety of content pillars or formats that then cater to them. It's also figuring out, how do I give them long form content that's under 5 minutes, over 10 minutes, over 20 minutes, over 40 minutes? How do I give them value in a 1 to 2 hour live stream? How do I give them value in a YouTube short? That's also content strategy. So it's those things. Another aspect of that content strategy is, okay, is this content for my reputation? Is this content to increase my reach and audience size? Or is this content to make my money? How do I balance these 3 goals and make enough content balanced to serve these 3 goals? my audience has to love this content, but it still has to help me grow an audience. This content has to reach new people and satisfy the audience I already have. So it has to do that. That's strategy too. That's important. Hey, I might have to make some content that helps grow the business or does affiliate revenue or does brand deal revenue. So that's another, so that's the revenue pillar. Okay. And then maybe I need some stuff that even if it doesn't get a lot of views or doesn't make me a lot of money, does it help my reputation? Does it help grow my status? Does it help show that I know what I'm talking about or my bona fides, or that it makes me a legit expert at something? Or even if you're doing a fandom, sometimes you got to do videos that show that you're a hardcore fan. Even if it doesn't get you a lot of reach, that's kind of your bona fides. It's kind of your credibility videos. So you got to do some of that. So this is like overarching strategy. And this is what I do tend to try to teach people. And this becomes important because also when brands align with you to some degree, it's going to be because you've demonstrated your capacity to be good at content strategy. Because if you aren't, they can just buy ads. So let's get back to a little bit of the chat here. Chris Dillon says, hey, Roberto, how do you find people to contact regarding a brand deal? Where can I search and what do I search? We already covered this. We literally already covered this. One of the first things you should consider doing is what brands do you want to work with instead of waiting for people to reach out to you. And then you should go to their website. You can find a point of contact email, usually on their press page. Or you can go and you can look up that company in LinkedIn, look for an employee that's in the marketing department, and then you could reach out and do an email there. Now, the trick to that is you also have to know how to do a proper outreach email and then get them onto a Zoom or Google Meet and then pitch and close through a video call and be able to negotiate and set that up. So that would be what you'd want to do. Where can I get the written version of what you just said? Government contractor, are you talking about the thing I said about brands or the thing I said about strategy? Alex Cho says, my YouTube channel is about interest in entrepreneurship, marketing, finance, and vlogs and product reviews. Growth is picking up, but I haven't picked a niche. Should I niche down? Should I stay broad? Okay, so here's the thing. I would ditch the product reviews if I were you. If I were you, I'd ditch the product reviews. And what I would probably do for the vlogs is move the vlogs to being members only content. And I would move your vlogs to members only content. And if you want to do personal content and vlogs, I would probably build an Instagram, Alex. So Alex Cho, I'd build an Instagram, make that my personal brand. If y'all want to do, hey, I want to do this content, but I also want to vlog because I want people to see my personality. I want people to like me for Lee. Move your vlog-like content, all of you, to Instagram and also put it behind your members-only content. A lot of you already struggle with, what should I make for members-only content? Make your vlogs the members-only content. Make the vlogs the members-only content. Make that content for your ride or die real followers and people who want to get to see you. They want to get to know you. They want to care about you. $5 a month, $6 a month. And that could be paywalled. Not kidding. The content you're passionate about that you know will not do well on your channel, put it behind the members only content paywall. Not kidding. Not at all. You want people to like you for you and your personality? Instagram is your friend. Do your personal brand and vlog like content and do Instagram stories. You can do that all day and it takes less time and you won't have to edit it and it'll be more authentic. Y'all, if you want vlog on Instagram. I'm not playing with you. Vlog on Instagram. And if you want to make cinematic vlogs and you like editing vlogs, put them in your members only section of YouTube and make people validate them by paying you instead of being disappointed that people are not interested in you in a broad way and want to look into your life. You'll be fine if you have 100 people that really care about your life and prove it by paying you every month. You'll be happier. You'll be much happier putting your vlogs as members only content and being happy with the comments and views and the $6 a month that people pay to really prove they care about you and your personal life. So put the vlogs behind a paywall, members only content, ditch that. I mean that for y'all. If you're not exclusively a vlogging channel, vlogs go behind the paywall, and you want people to be invested in you emotionally, make an Instagram. That's my answer. Not playing with y'all. And so, yeah. And the reason I'm against variety and broad content is all you do is fragment your audience. I had this problem in the early days of my YouTube channel. One of the things that makes it hard for me to have a view to subscriber ratio that's like significant for all the subscribers I have is one, I got depressed and I didn't upload hardly at all during the pandemic. So that hurt me. So I uploaded 75% less content the entire time we had the pandemic. So while other people were growing during the pandemic, I was growing a little bit, but 75% less because I was posting 75% less. So that's on me. And taking 6 months off at a time is not good for your YouTube channel and not good for the algorithm. So that's on me. But I'm still doing fine. And I can just go daily again and just grow back. But the thing about that is what you will learn from that experience and from that lesson is that what you want to do is not fragment your audience. It becomes harder over time and with every upload when you have 5 different audiences. So Alex, in your case, your person is somebody who wants to make money. They are money hungry, okay? So that's where I want you to take the product reviews away and stop doing the product reviews. You don't have to delete them or anything. Maybe go back and unlist them little by little, not all at once, maybe, but unless they're making you money and then you can leave them up. But the pivot I would make is if I were you, Alex, I would figure out who your person is and say, hey, my name is Alex and I want to help new entrepreneurs grow their first business. You know, if that's your goal, I would have a vision. I'd have this should really be for a Feedback Friday session because today is Monetization Monday, but it plays in because you'll make more money if you guys do this. So you'll make more money if you guys do this. Have a mission statement for your channel. Primary example. Hey, everybody, I'm Roberto Blake. I'm a creative entrepreneur. I have been doing content creation for years, and I'm here to help you increase your reach, your reputation, and your revenue. I want you to be able to become a full-time content creator that's able to build an audience you love, a reputation that you earned, and money that you deserve. Follow me for more. I know my stuff cold. I know I know my mission cold. Think about it. Think about what I just said. I can say it again for you. My name is Roberto Blake. I'm a creative entrepreneur and public speaker. My goal is to help you become a full-time content creator by increasing your reach, reputation, and revenue. I want you to be able to reach an audience that you love and are passionate about. I want you to be able to earn a reputation for your skills and for your passion. And I want you to be able to earn the revenue you deserve. Follow me for more. Boom. I have a mission, a very clear mission. Here's the problem we want to solve. Here is the process we're going to go through. And then here's the payoff you're going to get. It's very clear. So that's the hero's journey. So I know exactly who my audience is. I know exactly what I can deliver for them. And I know exactly how I'm going to deliver it. And I can articulate that very, very well. That's what all of you need to be able to do. Your niche is the audience that you serve. Your value proposition is how you're uniquely qualified to give them a specific experience. And again, it only makes sense if you can articulate what they want and why it matters. So why would someone want to become a full-time content creator? Because they want to profit from their passion. They probably don't love the job or career they're doing. It's not fulfilling. Maybe it's not making enough money, or maybe it's not filling up their heart enough. Maybe it's not showing off what their skills are. You don't like where you are, and you feel like if you were a content creator, you'd be happier in your life. Maybe you want more financial freedom. Maybe you want more time freedom. Maybe you want ownership over what you make and be able to claim credit for it and finally be acknowledged in the way that you deserve. So that just means you're someone who probably wants to reach like-minded people who will celebrate you. You want to have ownership of your reputation instead of an employer taking all the credit for what you built. And you want to earn revenue on your own terms and decide how much time it takes to do it. That's it. Reach, reputation, revenue is my way of articulating the value of being a full-time content creator and the things that I help you work on to achieve that goal. So you need to say that if you're doing entrepreneurship, marketing, and finance, okay, what kind of entrepreneurs do you serve? Hey, are you helping solo entrepreneurs who run a one-person business? Are you helping creative entrepreneurs like I? Are you helping tech founders? Who in entrepreneurship are you helping, Alex? You have to be able to articulate that. I make content for these people, my people. I make content for people who blank. So for you, maybe it's like, I make content for people who love business and have always wanted to be an entrepreneur from the day that they were born. And I'm here because it breaks my heart that 95% of business owners fail in the first 5 years. I'm here to make a difference in your life and the life of your family by making sure you're one of the 5% businesses that succeed. I've been doing this for blah, blah, blah amount of years, and I'm going to make sure that you understand how to build a business properly, how to market yourself effectively, and how to make sure your finances are in order so that your business stays afloat and you can take care of your family and your employees. Follow for more. You need to be able, again, shorter version of that, but you need to have a mission statement in mind. I do not know why content creators do not have a mission statement. I do not know why content creators do not have a business plan. Content creators who work with me end up with both. So yeah. So those are the kind of things that I find to be incredibly important when it comes to the concept of niching down. Is niching down for me is finding an audience that you're passionate about serving instead of a topic. You can outgrow a topic. You know, you can easily outgrow a topic and get bored with a topic. You could lose your passion for a topic or a career or an interest. So I think the answer is to find a group of people that you're passionate about serving, a community that you're excited and passionate and in love with. So if somebody was doing something other than business, let's say someone was doing anime, it's like I would want someone to know that they're passionate about that community more than they're passionate about that show. Because the thing is, the show can start getting on your nerves, the showrunners can start getting on your nerves, but if you love the community, then you can stick around. But if you start hating the show, you know, that's one thing. But if you started disliking the people in the community and you outgrew the community, that'd be a problem. So I would argue that picking a niche is about committing to a community more than it is anything else. So I would pick a community that I'm passionate about instead of a thing that I'm passionate about. Who are the people that I'm passionate about being around and being in a room with? So I would focus on that. Great. If I'm passionate around being around these people, what can we talk about and what can we enjoy together? And what can we do together? And so, okay, that's that. If I could do anything for this group of people that I'm passionate about, what would I want to do to improve their day? What would I do to improve their situation? What would I do to add value to the community that I'm a part of, that I'm so passionate about? So again, for a lot of you, if it's not business, let's say it was Star Wars. Okay, fantastic. Hey, you know what? Fans of the Old Republic don't get a fair shake in the Star Wars community. There's not a lot of people who are dedicated to making Old Republic content. It's always Lucas and Disney Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. What about people who really enjoyed the Old Republic era? So, okay, that could be a community that someone could get into and say, okay, I'm going to cover exclusively content and serve those community members. And so this is not going to be another channel that goes on about Luke Skywalker or Rey or Finn or Vader. It's going to be Old Republic. So it's going to be Malgus. It's going to be Bane. It's going to be Revan. It's going to be Bastila Shan. It's going to be the Brotherhood of Darkness, Khan's Brotherhood of Darkness. It's going to be the Jedi Sith Wars. It's going to be a Junta Paul. It's, you know, we're going to talk about Moraband. We're going to do all of that stuff. So that would be more of the Mandalorian Wars. That would be more of the vein of what a hardcore Star Wars fan could do, to say, I'm going to stand out and be different, and I'm going to serve a part of the fandom that's maybe getting ignored. It's why I call an underserved audience. So again, It's about finding these pockets of community and realizing that they're representative of hundreds of thousands of millions of people who aren't getting what they really want out of the largest content creators. For as big as people think YouTube tends to be, and as much, saturated niche, there are, for every content creator with millions of subscribers, there's hundreds of thousands of subscribers that they've left behind or left down, and somebody can pick those people up anytime they want. And you heard it here first. For every content creator who has millions of subscribers, there are hundreds of thousands of fans that they've left down, left behind, or disappointed. And somebody can pick those people up anytime they want. They're there for the taking. Nobody thinks about that when they talk about how competitive or saturated YouTube is. The trick: bring big creator energy. Bring big creator energy. Don't use being a small YouTuber as a reason to not invest in being a bigger creator. At least get a camera with a lens, get good audio, get good lighting. Now, there's nothing standing between you and a 100K channel in terms of how you present, except experience. That's what I do like about buying tech. I like that if you learn how to use your tech properly and you have at least a decent setup, decent set design, or a white background or whatever, and you have at least a $500 camera with a lens, a $150 to $300 lens, and that's all you really need to get this right here. This right here is a Sony ZV-10. You get one of these used for $400, $500. Slap a $200 20 millimeter f2.8 camera lens on it. Boom, you've got blurry background, you've got autofocus, you've got flip out screen, you've got 4K, you got live streaming with a USB-C, you got everything you need right there. You want a good light, you can get a ring light if you don't wear glasses for $80. If not, you get Elgato desk lights to put on your desk. If you're a streamer, for $100. There's other kind of lights you can get for $200, $300. Boom, lights are done. Audio, $100 to $400, best audio. So you do just that. It's about $1,000 to $1,500, which is not a small money. I'm not saying everyone has to blow that. I'm saying all anyone has to do to look like a 100K to a million subscriber channel is probably invest $1,500 to look like a 100K to a million subscriber channel. Having done that and learned your hardware and software settings, there'd be nothing standing between you looking like a 1 million subscribed channel, except for at that point, it'd be your thumbnails and your channel art and your delivery. Because I'll be real with you, small YouTubers, a lot of them put more effort into editing than big YouTubers do. Big YouTubers, a lot of them barely edit their content. It's more production value and performance and delivery and personality than it is editing. So if you had good production value, which is lights, camera, audio, and then you had the personality all along, and then you just learn to be a better performer and you work on that through practice. The only thing standing between you and a big YouTuber is better packaging, which is thumbnail design. Most of them don't even do that anymore. They hire someone. You just learn to hire better thumbnail designers. That's it. So then what's the barrier? Ideation, actually having good ideas. That'd be it. Having good ideas. You know what's a real simple hack for good ideas? Whatever the opposite idea of a big YouTuber is could be another one, because you literally, just by virtue of being contrarian, you literally could just have the opposite opinion, and that would garner attention and views. And people wouldn't be able to actually say you're copying, because it's like, no, I'm the reverse. So there is something to that. I'm not saying you have to do that or it's even the best way to absolutely do things. I'm saying it is a way to do things. And it, again, eliminates a lot of the, what would you call them? The objections that people have as to why they cannot succeed. I just answered most of them. So Alex says, I also generated 100K views in the last 2 months being active on YouTube. Are those decent metrics? I've been using brute force to publish content. Oh, yeah. No, it's very, very good. 100K views is my view trajectory for people doing this for a year. So if you did in 2 months, you're doing excellent, Alex. So good job. Yeah, polarity genius. Yeah, no, absolutely. Polarity is a whole thing. Just being contrarian is a strategy in and of itself. So yeah. Brian Weber says, "Hey Roberto, would love to have a good, better, best. What do you use for your studio setup with affiliate links, of course, so we can support you? What lens do you like for the Sony?" So okay, so gear recommendations. Gear recommendations are going to be over at kit.co/Roberto Blake. So all my gear recommendations with affiliate links are going to be there. So I just popped that up for you guys. And in terms of good, better, best, here's what I'm going to recommend. So a little bit of what's in my setup. You know, you wouldn't be able to see it, but I'll use this as a stand-in. In general, I'm a Sony shooter in general. I've used everything. I've used Fuji, I've used Panasonic, I've used Nikon. I have some entry-level Canons that I use. I've used Canon professional cameras before, and I'm all in on Sony, including my full-frame cameras from Sony. So good, better, best. Good. Sony ZV-E10 is good. 400 used, 600 new, body only. Sony ZV-E10 is good. Better. Better is anything in the Sony A6000 line is better. So that would be the Sony A6600, which is this camera right here. I do have a more expensive lens on it, but you can see how good that is. So this is the quality for a Sony A6600. You can use anything in the 6000 series. The newest in the 6000 series is the A6700. I believe that is about a $1,200 body only. If you guess A6600, that's probably a $700 or $800 body used. So both of those are APS-C cameras. So those are your good and your better. Now your best becomes moving into either full frame or Cineline cameras. So behind me is a Sony A7S III, which is very much a big YouTuber camera. That is about a $3,000 camera used at now. Maybe new, it's like $3,200, $3,300. It was $3,600, $3,700 when I bought it. Downstairs, another camera that is a best camera is my Sony FX3, which is the Cineline camera, another $3,600 camera. So that's why it's the best. A compromise on a full frame camera for Sony in the $2,000 range are your Sony A7 Mark IV. I have two of those. Or if you went Cineline and crop sensor, your Sony FX30, those will run you between $1,800 and $2,200 a piece to get those. So for cameras, those are your good, better, best options. For camera lenses, the lens that I have on here is going to probably be closer to best in class because it's about a $1,800 lens. This is the 35 millimeter Sony G Master f1.8 lens, and I believe that's $1,800. Now, this lens right here is gorgeous, and it's one of my favorite lenses. It's a 20 millimeter crop sensor lens. They are all E-mount, so they're all one mount. You can use them on any Sony camera. This is a 20 millimeter lens. I believe this is a $250 lens. You probably get for about 175 used on Amazon. So that's good. So if you got a used Sony ZV-E10 for about $400 or $500, and then you got this lens, you could spend about $600, $700 and have this lens set up. My most expensive lenses are the Sony zoom lenses for full frame. Those range in the $2,000 range, and those are basically your 24 to 70 millimeter lens. F2.8, so blurry background. For interviews, I use the 24 to 105 f4s, and those are great for interviews. Tack Sharp, those are going to probably run you about $1,600 a piece, brand new, probably closer to $1,100 used, something like that. I have two of those. I need a third. They're interview lenses. So for me, that's the 3-camera setup for interviews, or 2-camera setup sometimes for interviewing guests at events. So that's what I use for that. Microphones. I use essentially the Joe Rogan mic here, this Shure SM7B, which is $400, and that's best in class. Same thing for the Shure SM7DB downstairs, also best in class, $500, because then you don't have to buy a cloud lifter to boost the gain for it if you have a softer voice, because I don't have as much bass in my voice as other people. For affordable microphones, good is the $130 Elgato Wave 3. So that's good, and it's $130, so it's good and cheap. Better is to get something more like the Shure M7V, which is about $200. And I think there's a USB-C version as well. So that goes portable with your Mac. I have one of those as well. So I would recommend those. And so those can be incredibly helpful. What else? Trying to think. Yeah, so those would be for microphones. Oh, lights. Of course, lights. Okay, so good is the Neewer, spelled Neewer, so Neewer with 2 E's at the front. $80 ring light if you don't wear glasses. If you wear glasses, get their panel lights. You'll buy a set of 2 of that for about $150. You'll light from your sides at a slight angle if you and so then if you wear glasses, they're not going to hit the glare directly on your glasses. If you light from the sides and slightly above for that. If you're at a desk, you're going to want Elgato desk mount lights. They're the Elgato key lights. Those are about $140 a piece. I have 2 of them. They bounce off of my white wall. And so the only time that they reflect in my glasses is if I tilt my head up like this. That's where the glare comes in. Theoretically, I could probably raise them up higher, and then that wouldn't happen as much unless I looked up. So I could do that. I could also just buy reflective glasses next time. I'll just order anti-reflective glasses. So that would give you those. For better, you could probably do an Aperture D100, an Aperture Amaran D100, or something like that. That's probably going to run you about $200, $160, and it's a Cobb light, spelled C-O-B. It's a Cobb light. If you want to then get to best, you're spending about $1,000 for the Aperture 600D, and you're going to spend about $1,000, $1,200 for that brand new. And so that will get you lights. I will be doing a ultimate buyer's guide video. I will be doing like a 40-minute long ultimate buyer's guide video for YouTube gear. And I will literally do good, better, best. I will literally do kind of like, here's the best gear that's theoretically budget gear. Here's the stuff that's in the middle. And then here's the stuff that is like at the tippy top. And, you know, I can reference the kind of creators that use each. But my goal is big YouTuber energy. My goal is how can I get you closer to what a like full-time content creator might use, or what on a budget, what someone 100K subscribers use. Wireless microphones. I do have the Rode wireless microphones here somewhere. Oh, I got them over there. They're over there. I have those, but I also have Sennheiser microphones for wireless. So the Sennheisers are probably best because these are $700 a piece and they're used in public speaking. They are excellent. I only worry a little bit about signal interference, but they're excellent. Now, so the mid-tier option, ironically, is the Rode wireless and the DJI Mic 2 wireless. Those are great, but those are in the 300 and change price range, but you do get 2 of them and they're very good. So that would be in that mid, better, affordable tier of wireless microphones. Then in terms of the cheapest option for wireless microphones, probably looking at Comica and Sauromonic. Comica and Sauromonic would be the brands that you'd be looking at in terms of that. and in terms of some level of affordability when it comes to wireless mics. Technically, Deity is in there as well, but they don't have a 2-mic wireless solution that is under $200 yet or something. They're getting slightly closer in price to the Rode Mic Go 2s and the DJI Wireless when it comes to having a full wireless setup in terms of dual transmitter setup. So that would be it. So I covered lights, audio, microphones, wireless microphones. Well, those were desktop microphones. Microphones gets extensive because in terms of shotgun microphones, your best bet is for under $100, Deity D4 and the D4 Mini and the D4 Duo. Those are like your under $100, $150 option. So those are good. Better is about the $200, $300 price range with the Rode Video Mic Pro Plus and the Sennheiser MKE 600. And those would be better. And then when you want best, when it comes to shotgun microphones, that's $1,000. That is the MKH416 from Sennheiser, which I own, which Marquez Brownlee owns and uses. Very, very good. So those would be the shotgun microphones. And so, yeah, wireless, desktop, shotgun. Yeah, those are basically your main mics at that point. So we covered the microphones. We covered the lights. We covered camera bodies for Sony. And I believe for the most part, we kind of covered enough with camera lenses. All of this is linked for me with gear recommendations. I'm just going to link to that again. Kit.co/Roberto Blake. And those are affiliate links for my camera gear. So kit.co/Roberto Blake. What state am I in? I'm in Georgia. Club Culture USA, when we do our one-on-one call, we'll look over your analytics. Because if you say you're getting zero reach from YouTube, I want to know about impressions and traffic source. Because if you're getting those kind of views, but you're saying YouTube's giving zero reach, I want to know what traffic source the views are coming from. So we'll look over that in analytics. Because the traffic sources for YouTube are the browse features, the suggested videos, and the search recommendations. If you're not getting traffic from there, then you must be getting direct traffic because you're promoting on X and Reddit or word of mouth. But YouTube technically is giving people reach if you have impressions, and if you have impressions and views that come from those 3 main YouTube traffic sources of the YouTube homepage, YouTube suggested, and YouTube recommendations. And then, of course, the shorts feed. So that'd be another YouTube-centric traffic source. So for everybody listening, if YouTube is giving you impressions on those 4 traffic sources and it's translating to views, then YouTube is giving you reach. Right now, in terms of if people are seeing views being down, it's because algorithm patterns for viewers are changing. It's not YouTube doing something. It's the culture doing something. I've been on YouTube for so long that I've seen this multiple times. So what you all are experiencing in terms of traffic feeling like it's down is 1, nothing will ever be as good in traffic as it was during the pandemic. That's number 1. Number 2, traffic is being diverted right now because we're in an election cycle. So when you're in an election cycle and when you have the Olympics, I've been on YouTube longer than most of you. So every time the Olympic Games, the Summer Olympic Games anyway, is happening, regular YouTube traffic goes down. Whenever the Summer Olympic Games is going on, whenever there's an election season, a presidential election season, When you get within about 6 months of the presidential elections, general views for most YouTube audiences actually do go down. And then obviously political and news and social commentary channels start feasting. So there's seasonal cycles, and some of them are also annual cycles. Some of them are seasonal cycles that spread out across a couple of years or against dynamic events. And so right now there's that. Plus right now, everyone making content about Mr. Beast is feasting on that content right now. So there's a lot of things that for your regular consumer traffic patterns are being diverted to other things that are out of your control. This happens in cycles in YouTube. I've been around so long that I've just seen it happen quite a bit. So yeah. I've lived through these seasons. That's the other thing about what happens when you have things like shorts, for example. When it starts changing how people behave, it changes how their content is recommended to them. Primary example is if all of you started watching other content, or again, like when I took months off from YouTube during the pandemic, it changed the viewing pattern of my audience. They found other things to watch. So it was harder, even when I came back, it was harder for me to recoup that audience because their viewing patterns changed. And so for you, Culture Club, we'll look at what's going on with your views. Some of it may be because you should be up for what you are. You should be up in theory, but it depends. It depends on whether other people are getting your traffic right now for other reasons, and it's something we'll look into. So there's a lot of factors that lead to that. There's another thing that happens seasonally with YouTube is January slump. So during the January slump of YouTube, as many of you know, ad revenue pays less in January because advertisers are renewing their budgets. It takes them till about February to get that sorted out. Then the budgets come back. It's not that there's no money in YouTube in January. It's that you take a good hit, 20, 30, 50% in some cases in terms of your CPM, RPM rates. So a lot of YouTubers just go on vacation during January and they'll be like, hey, I'll be back in February when money comes back. And so a lot of them do that. What YouTubers also do is during December, YouTubers do Vlogmas and they go daily the last month of the year and try to suck up all the ad budget that they can at the end of the year and get paid. So Vlogmas was not some wonderful thing the community invented. It was a way to get the most money during the highest peak ad season. So that's the real truth about Vlogmas. And then everyone goes on vacation during January and people are like, oh, well, we'll just watch those vlogs again while we wait for our favorite creators to come back. And like, so it's the whole thing, right? So it's this whole thing that happens. And so I watch, and I've been in YouTube so bloody long. I've been in YouTube for multiple election cycles, multiple seasons, through multiple drama spheres, and traffic gets diverted all the time. And these are just things that happen. Nikki L. Rose says, hey, Roberto, I know niching down is recommended. However, what are your thoughts on starting a new lifestyle channel? So lifestyle channel, it depends on what it is. So you got to know your audience. Obviously, in your case, probably going to be a female audience. But again, you got to get less generic. Even with a lifestyle channel, you have to say, well, who will be attracted to this lifestyle? The audience that will be attracted to the lifestyle of a stay-at-home mom is different than the audience that'll be attracted to the lifestyle of a college sorority girl in a Ivy League school. So there's a lifestyle that's more luxury lifestyle. Then there's the minimalist lifestyle. There's the cozy aesthetic lifestyle. There's the lifestyle of the kind of person that is a globetrotter. And then there's a lifestyle of a homesteader. So when it's lifestyle, you might want to start writing down and fill up an entire page with all the things that make up your lifestyle. Fill up an entire page with all the brands that make up your lifestyle and that you use. What's the lifestyle products that make up your makeup and your beauty and your fashion? What's the lifestyle products that make up your home decor? What's the lifestyle products and brands that make up your pantry? What's the lifestyle products that make up your appliances? You'll want to fill up an entire page with, for a lot of you in general, a lot of you should just fill up a page with, here's all the brands I use, and those are your sponsorship targets, right? So, oh, here's all the brands I use. Go around your house, write down all the brands you use, then go back and categorize them, put them in a spreadsheet. Now, that's all the brands you use. You should be promoting that with affiliate, and you should be trying to pursue that for sponsorship. So you fill up a page, here's all the brands I use. Then, in terms of whatever your niche is, you write down and you fill up a page describing all the things that you tend to do and that you experience and that you spend time and energy on. And those things kind of make up what you're invested in, what your personality is. And so that would help you start to define things about yourself. If you understand yourself and then you make content for a viewer that's like you, then you understand yourself a lot better. You understand your audience a lot better. So a lot of people struggle with what content they're going to make because they haven't taken the time to really analyze themselves in a thoughtful way and organize those thoughts and then translate that to, and here's the audience that's most like me and what they would also like. So hopefully that makes sense. We'll probably go over more of this and how to do proper content strategy on FAQ Friday. I'll probably schedule the Friday live stream tomorrow. Hopefully I can live stream on Wednesday. We'll do a workshop of some kind. I have to figure out what I want to do for Wednesday as far as the actual workshop. But yeah. Purple Blue says, what are some career opportunities for creators to get bigger and more famous? Something difficult in the real world. So this may not be accessible to you because there's no easy way to do getting famous except literally embarrassing yourself. The only way to get famous is to, all right, let me phrase that. The only way to get famous easy with no effort is to embarrass yourself or to risk your life and be a daredevil, which I don't recommend either of those things. So, you know, you don't necessarily want to do that, but that is the easy way, which is why young people do it and ruin their lives forever and also get themselves either injured, killed, or canceled. So I don't recommend trying to become famous. I don't recommend trying to become famous the easy way and to get attention. It usually doesn't last. It usually doesn't work out, and it usually ends very poorly. It also doesn't make for a long-term career, and you know the money is fast and fleeting. Money's fast and fleeting, and then you never make any more. So I don't recommend that. You know, exceptions come along that sometimes disprove the rule, but everyone thinks they'll be the exception. They'll be proven to be the rule. So if people were an exception to the rule, they'd already know it. The signs would already be there. So that is, you know, something I think about. Culture Club. Yep, I see it. My team's on it, so we'll get back to you and switch it up for Friday for you. What was I thinking about? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the famous thing. So I would never strive to be famous. I would strive to be talented. If you become famous as a result of being talented, so be it, and then it'll last. So if you wanted to become famous, but you wanted to take a more longevity-based route, if your only desire is to be famous and you don't want to risk your life or risk mass embarrassment, your answer, Purple Blue, would be to try to get onto a reality TV show of some kind. Get onto a reality TV show and be the breakout fan favorite on a reality TV show and do it for good reasons. Don't be the villain. Be the person everyone roots for. Be the underdog. Be the sweetheart. Be the person they wish had won. So that is an opportunity to become famous. Most people become famous for things they do not like or on accident. So I don't recommend it. I've had clients that were like, I do not want to be. I had a client come to me and it's like, Roberto, I don't want to be known as the dumpster diving girl anymore. I have to figure out something that lets my brand move away from this. I have to find a way to walk out of the shadow of my viral moment. So like most creators find themselves trying to walk out of the shadow of their infamy and their viral fame, you know, and it's very difficult to do. So the thing is, if I were a young man and I know that it's like for some reason that it would be hard to do in any other dimension, in terms of a skill-based thing or a knowledge-based thing, if I'm a young man, I have no real skill, no real talent, do you know how I'd become famous? I'd literally go into the gym, get yoked, and do everything to make myself more physically attractive, primarily by focusing on fitness, do whatever mouth exercise I have to do to make my facial structure better, do whatever I need to do with my self-care and grooming, fix my hair or shave it all off, and then I'd become jacked, and then I would become a somebody in combat sports that also has a personality and can be known for their humor and also for being like a killer in the octagon, but a sweetheart in every other aspect of life, and get people to want to root for you that way, because you can build a fan base that way. If you have no talent as a young man, then the answer is to get jacked. If you're not smart, you got to be a jock. It is basically what it comes down to. If you're a guy, you probably have very little chance of being famous for just being funny, unless you're attractive. Unless you're attractive. Not everyone can be Matt Rife. Not everyone can be Zach Justice. If you're not 6 foot tall and funny and attractive, then you're probably not going to be known for your comedy unless you have something else, which means you also should be very smart, or you should probably figure out getting into combat sports like Joe Rogan. So I would say if you're a guy, it's easier to be funny and known for your comedy if you're also jacked. So that would work. It's easier to become famous if you're rich, but if you're not, smart enough or talented enough to get rich, then you're probably not smart enough or talented enough to be famous unless you're famous for being jacked. It's easier. Do you know what makes most of the big YouTubers that are guys successful? They're either geniuses or jocks. The most successful YouTubers are geniuses, they're jocks, or they're both. I'm going to give you an example. KSI, he's a jock. He's good at like most sports. Soccer, and look at the sidemen soccer matches, the football matches. He's good at football. Sidemen, do their charity event for doing football. They're all footballers. So he's and he was a very successful athlete in school. KSI, D1 athlete. I Show Speed, D1 athlete. Ryan Trahan, D1 athlete, track and cross country runner. Jake and Logan Paul, D1 athletes. Generational athletes. I Show Speed, KSI, Ryan Trahan, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, almost every single one of the sidemen, all D1 athletes. Most of them 6 feet tall. It's a real thing. So if you're a guy and your thing was I'm being real with you, I hate the whole getting famous BS. I really do. I'm not really about it. But I can tell you the pattern. I can analyze the pattern, and the pattern is very simple. Guys who get famous usually are jocks or geniuses. And if you want to be funny and say, I'm a funny man, I'm a personality, it's easier to do if you're attractive or rich. Most people don't get by on just being funny. So that's, kind of a thing. So you're a jock or you're a genius. So other YouTubers who are very successful, here's someone who's a jock and a genius. His name is Alex Hormozy. Alex Hormozy is a jock and a genius. You know who's successful, who's a jock? I think it's Simon Sulek. Is it Simon Sulek? Yeah, I think that's it. So Sulek, he's just this hulking jock, absolute monster. Okay. You know who's a genius? Ali Abdaal's a genius. He's brilliant. He's so brilliant, he got into Cambridge. Think about it. And he became a very young doctor and, successful entrepreneur in his 20s during the pandemic. So Ali Abdaal, genius. Yeah, Sam Sulek. Sam Sulek is the big hulking guy on YouTube. Yeah, so Sam Sulek. So boom, someone who's a jock and a genius. Alex Hormozy, who's somebody who's also a jock and a genius who's successful. Patrick Bet-David. Patrick Bet-David, he was a soldier and a salesman. He's a jock and a genius. So the thing is, you want to be a jock, you want to be a genius, or you want to be both. And that's probably at least for men, that's your best chance that you ever will have of being famous is you'll be a jock, a genius, or both. It's your best shot being famous if you're a man. So the thing is, if you want to cultivate status and social proof, the answer is to be exceptional. You know who's another genius who's famous? Mark Rober. Mark Rober is a genius. That's why he's famous. What is he? He's everybody's favorite engineer. He's everybody's favorite science boy. He's everyone's favorite science boy. He was literally good enough to work for NASA as an engineer. He's famous because he's smart. So that's my kind of analogy. It's be a jock or be a genius. And, that's kind of the key. And it's easier to be famous if you're rich. Graham Stephan came to the platform a millionaire. So his videos were about how he became a millionaire before 30. That is a story that he gets to tell. So it's easier to come to the platform and say, hey, I'm this really smart guy, aka a genius, who made $1 million. Let me tell you all about it. Yeah, Sam Sulek vlogs himself just going to the gym. No crazy editing, no crazy thumbnails. Definitely proves my point. Exactly. MKBHD, brilliant YouTuber. Another one, but he's also a jock. MKBHD is an ultimate Frisbee champion. You guys may not think that that's a big deal. Ultimate Frisbee champion. Also was a tremendous golf player in middle school and high school. So he's a jock, but he's also quite brilliant. I believe he went to school on scholarship, and now he actually finished his PhD. So we jokingly call him MKPhD. So now he literally has a PhD. So he's literally a jock and a genius. He's literally a jock and a genius. He's a PhD. He's an ultimate Frisbee champion and a successful tech YouTuber. He's literally a jock and a genius. So again, be a jock, be a genius, or both. And so, yeah, status and social proof, at least for guys, status and social proof for guys is great body, great money, great mind. If you can have all three, you're a total package, and that's it. And obviously, it also, of course, matters the way you treat people. Generally speaking, you would want to have great character. Very difficult to find someone who has all four of those things going for them, though. But, unicorns do exist, apparently. Alma Bradford, do you think that views are lower in the summer like August? I think things are just seasonal. I think some things are niche by niche. If you're somebody who's doing drama videos right now, you're eating good. If you're doing politics, unless you're Culture Club USA and struggle busing it right now, views are up for politics and news channels. For financial channels, they're eating very good right now. So things are seasonal. General audience views might be down because, again, that traffic's being diverted to drama. It's being diverted to politics. It's being diverted to the Olympics. The Olympics just finished up. There's all kinds of things. So it depends on who your viewer base is. There are things that go dry. Tech right now has nothing really that interesting going on in tech. There's not some really great things happening in the tech niche right now. So that could be down a little bit. To my knowledge, the beauty niche could be down a little bit because the beauty niche has some intersectionality with drama. So the drama people are farming the views that would normally go to beauty channels. So that's a whole thing. There are different channels that are doing very well right now. They're in August, the channels that do mobile gaming content for Supercell channels that cover Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, Brawl Stars, and Squad Busters and things like that. Supercell is on vacation during some of the summer months, and they come back in September. And so there aren't new game updates for people to cover. So sometimes for people who do news on the Supercell games, their views are dry as hell in August. And they got to sit there and struggle bust their way to September. So it's rough for the Supercell creators right now. So you have to know what's the seasonality of your niche. What's the seasonality of your niche? Can you use, I like doing evergreen content because it backstops that. Reaction channels are doing just fine right now. Reaction channels, they're daily reaction channels. They're doing just fine. The movie review channels, they got all kinds of stuff to farm, and they got drama to farm right now. So they're good. Dragon Ball channels are suffering a little bit right now, but what else is new? One Piece channels are eating really good in the anime community. So it really just depends. It just depends on you know, whether or not you're in up season or down season. One of the reasons that it's become very popular for people to just have multiple faceless YouTube channels is they don't have to worry about seasonality if they have multiple channels. If they have multiple channels across different things, when one channel's up, the other one is down. When other channel's up, the other one's down. They have enough channels to where they just like have a really good balance of just always having views and making money, because something's getting views, something's making money. So a lot of them just do that. Alex Cho says, hey, you might have missed my question from earlier. What's the secret to longevity? I've been on YouTube for about 10 years now, I think. The secret to longevity on YouTube is you have to care a lot about your community. I would say you have to be more passionate about your community than you are passionate about your topic, because thing is, topics come and go, but communities are something that you have a better chance with if you go that route in terms of longevity. Another thing with longevity, so like we could look at this backwards. We could reverse engineer this. What are the threats? What are the threats to your longevity on YouTube? Burnout is a threat to your longevity on YouTube. Financial instability in your life is a threat to your existence on YouTube. Reputational damage and cancel culture are a threat to your existence on YouTube. Algorithmic issues are very rare to affect individual channels. So I would argue community guidelines and policy changes are a bigger potential outside existential threat to one's YouTube channel. So I would say policy. So here's the thing. If policy is a threat to your YouTube channel, one, try to not make borderline content, make extremely safe content. Safe doesn't mean you have to make it child friendly or for children. Make safe content that has very little chance of triggering YouTube policies, termination, and demonetization. So that takes one of the largest threats completely off of the table to hurting your channel. Another one would be the threat of hacking and having your channel hijacked. So limit that by never making the email address that's tied to your YouTube account public ever. And don't use that for your business email. Don't use that for sign up for newsletters. Don't use that for a bloody thing ever. And that will limit the threat of your YouTube channel. Get a Google Titan key for security for your YouTube channel. Use two-factor authentication and use the Authenticator app. Those things limit the external threat of account being compromised, hacked, or deleted. So that limits that threat. Backing up all your content so you can boot it somewhere else. Having your content, frankly, and saying, oh, I'll risk taking away some of the views, a little bit of views from YouTube to have my content backed up somewhere else. Put it on another site. Put it on Facebook, X, Rumble, somewhere, just so there's another thing of your content existing. And then also physical backups of your hardware if you can afford it. I have a NAS, and I also have LaCie Tech archival drives, so I can do those physical backups of my content and my project files and my Photoshop files and all that stuff. So contingency for that. The threat from reputational damage and cancel culture. You don't have to be politically correct, but don't go out of your way to make any enemies. Don't run afoul of things that you know are vulnerable to massive social change or any of that BS or whatever. So don't run afoul of that. Don't run afoul of making enemies in those communities if you can help it. Unless you're a politics channel, then it's par for the course and you take your lumps there. So don't do those things. You really don't want to get canceled. Just don't be on Twitter or Reddit. Yeah, easiest way to not get canceled, don't be on Twitter or Reddit. Easiest way to not get canceled, don't ever have employees that can leak anything. Be a solo creator, don't have any employees, none of your employees can cancel you. So that helps. Financial vulnerability, as long as you can keep a stable income, you can keep doing YouTube as long as you don't make a channel that is very expensive to do, and you make a channel that you can do very affordably with what you have and not have it constantly require you to put money back in. So again, don't use the Mr. Beast model. Like, I'm serious. Don't use the Mr. Beast model. Keep a channel that has low cost and high profit. So don't use the Mr. Beast model. Don't keep sinking every dime back into your YouTube channel. That minimizes the risk. You can do your YouTube channel forever if it costs you $0. If your YouTube channel costs you $0, you can do it forever. So what does that look like? make sure you have low cost, that you use things that are affordable for you in terms of your software and subscriptions, or buy the permanent versions of things. Look, I'm an Adobe guy, but you could buy DaVinci Resolve and then never have to pay money to really worry that much about updating your software. You can do DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro, buy it one time, have it forever. I'm an Adobe guy, but you could do Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer, pay $60, keep it forever, and always be able to do your thumbnails and do your design work, and that would take care of you or whatever. If you only need Photoshop because you do Final Cut Pro or DaVinci, Photoshop is $10 a month, and then you still have the best design software in the world. It's $10 a month. Okay, that keeps your cost low. Fantastic. So Canva, Canva Pro, $10 a month. Okay, keeps it cheap. Fantastic. There's your software side. So it would be things like that that keep your cost really minimal and keep them low. Then you can do YouTube forever. So if you're never gonna lose money doing YouTube because it's gonna be free for you to do it, then you can do YouTube forever and have a career. If you avoid being canceled, then you can do YouTube forever and you can have a career. So if you keep your account safe and secure and don't get hacked, you're okay. If you play it safe on policy, you're going to be okay. So then you have one final threat, burnout. Your only other final threat is burnout. It's harder to burn out if you keep your mental health good and happy in every area of your life. It's very hard to burn out. Now, you might have depression from other things, like if the world's coming to an end, like the pandemic, that's happened to me, then you can get depressed, and that's different. But you can even avoid some of that and worry about getting depressed or burnout, depression, burnout. Tell you easy secret for dealing with depression and burnout. If you like what you see in the mirror, it solves for everything. If you like what you see in the mirror, it solves for everything. So if you look in the mirror and you see somebody who has some money in their bank account and whose bills are on auto pay, that's one less thing to be depressed about. If you look in the mirror and you see someone who makes healthy lifestyle choices, someone who keeps up their hygiene and grooming, someone who dresses like they respect themselves, then you're going to like who you see in the mirror physically. And that's going to help for a lot of mental health and depression and for burnout. If you see someone who is healthy and takes really good care of themselves, that's going to do it. If you see someone who is not ashamed when they reflect back on their choices, they don't see a lot of shame, they don't see a lot of regret, it's just a little bit, then you're going to like what you see in the mirror. And if you like genuinely what you see in the mirror every single day, when you wake up in the morning and when you go to bed and you see someone in the mirror who is happy with the choices they made that day, doesn't feel ashamed of those choices, has options when they look in their bank account, sees someone healthy, fit, and strong that takes care of themselves and treats themselves like someone with respect and dresses in a respectable way and takes care of their hygiene and grooming. If you see all that when you look in the mirror, what the hell do you have to be depressed about? If you're still depressed, you got to go to therapy after that. And you're going to find that you're someone who probably is not going to struggle too much with burnout. With burnout, you have to be able to enjoy the process of what you're doing if you don't enjoy the payoff. If you don't enjoy the payoff, then you have to at least enjoy the process. If you don't enjoy the process, refine the process or outsource the parts you don't like. And then it's not a problem. And then in terms of the payoff, you can always decide what payoff you really are invested in. So the payoff doesn't always have to be that you feel like you're getting this or getting that. If you decide that the payoff is how you are treating your audience, if the payoff is spending time with the audience, if the payoff is that you get great engagement and comments and you have people who show up for you, then that might be where you need to mentally adjust the payoff. Instead of it being, oh, I have all these views, I have all these subscribers, I got all these brand deals, I got all this money. That is easier to do if you make your money, good money, outside of YouTube, either with a career or a business that you enjoy doing. So that takes pressure off. Burnout can come from performance burdens that you're putting on yourself. Performance burdens might need to be alleviated by putting them in other areas of your life where it's more manageable. So if you rely too much on YouTube for money and you don't diversify enough, if you don't diversify enough between platforms, income streams, and monetization models, then you can get depressed if you feel like your YouTube channel is taking away the financial part of what makes you like what you see in the mirror. So that could be important. You also need a source of respect and validation that comes outside of YouTube and outside of validation from views. So if you have those things, you will do better, and that would lead to longevity. The biggest threats to your longevity on YouTube are the mental health issues, which I just told you how to mostly deal with. If you address the mental health issues, if you address the financial issues, and then you address the reputation and platform issues, and then the security issues, those would be the 5 things that you'd have to worry about that could ever hurt your longevity on YouTube. If you can deal with those things, you can survive. You can survive indefinitely. Same is true for business. Alex says, after watching you for 10 years, I've been wondering, how do you stay authentic and remain the same personality? One, I'm 40 now and I'm set in my ways. I'm 40 and I'm set in my ways, so that helps. I started doing this in my late 20s. So it's literally that I'm old and set in my ways. So for me, that's a big part of it. I'm old and set in my ways. I am a very logical person, and I'm also very stubborn. So the thing is, I do things for a reason. So because I do things for a reason, it's not as difficult to be consistent and have the same personality, because if my foundational values haven't changed. And then the thing is, to be honest, I grew up Episcopalian Catholic, so I have a value set that is largely immutable for me. I have a value system of, here are things that in principles I believe in. Here are values that are near and dear to me that I don't need to change ever. So I have continuity that's based on something. So I'm less vulnerable to, oh, I feel this way, so now I'm going to move this way. It's like, no, my feelings, if they're inconsistent with my principles, my feelings will not sway me to betray my principles. So the thing is, I'm not going to let myself be emotionally driven and compromised by the fact that my emotions and my feelings are not going to let me compromise my principles. But the thing is, people who don't have a strong core and have not lived that for whatever amount of years or decades, it's, again, then they're not as old and set in their ways like me. So then they might be more vulnerable to their emotions, especially when you're young. When I was young, and when you're exploring yourself, when you're young and you're trying to figure out who you are, you go to and fro a lot more unless you're very, very grounded. There are only so many grounding forces that exist in life. Culture is a grounding force in life of saying, here's the things that my people do. Here's the way my people move. Here's how I represent my people. So culture can be a grounding force for you. For people who don't have strong culture and ethnic values, then religion can be a strong grounding force for them. If they don't have that, then it's, here's my family. I respect my family name. Here's what we do. Here's how we move. Here's how I was raised. I won't deviate for that. If people don't have a strong relationship or connection to their family, or they don't value their family name or their family story, then it's very hard for them to not be swayed by emotions or by entertaining other thoughts or things outside of that. So if you have multiple layers of accountability that ground you to values and principles that you're going to adhere to, then it becomes very easy to be consistent and to have continuity. Beyond that, if you're a person of reason, if you're someone who is like me and you like philosophy and history, then you adhere a lot to reason, and you have a lot of investment in Stoicism and Socratic thought. So Socratic thought as a foundation, partly for understanding critical thinking and even argumentation with yourself and how to process your emotions and your ideas, leads you to a place to where you ask yourself, why do I think that? Why do I feel that? Why do I believe that? And then what supports that belief in material reality? So again, using Socratic thought, I always go to the argumentation of, is there something in the real world that is a justification for the thing that I think or believe? And what would be the evidence that points to that? And how can I verify and validate that? So again, that then applies Socratic thought. Some people would just call that scientific method. You can use that to do higher levels and deeper levels of introspection and thinking about yourself. So again, this gets very deep. This gets very philosophical. So how do I stay the same person? It's that I don't have to change anything about my foundational beliefs or values. So that's easy enough, because those beliefs and values have led me to a good place in life. So that helps. It's very easy, in my opinion, to be consistent when you like the outcomes for your actions and you like the outcomes for, hey, I think and believe and do these things. And if the outcomes are good, it's easier to be consistent. Much easier to do something if it's working for you, because, like, why would I do something different if it's been working out, right? So that's a big part of it. when I was in my 20s and I had to work for other people, kind of sucked to have to be a yes man just to survive. When you make like $35,000 a year and you got to do whatever your boss likes, and you sit there and you look at the fact that sometimes it compromises your ethics, or you don't speak up for yourself, or you don't speak up for other people, you don't like the way people are treated, you don't like the way the customers are treated, you don't like that stuff. When you find yourself in a position where you're forced to be a yes man, you never want to go back to that again. And so for me, it becomes this mask off thing that happened in my 20s of, no, I'm going to have my say. I'm going to move to the beat of my own drum, so to speak. I'm going to be my own man. And so that became very important to me, because I experienced a very long period of time where I didn't have that leverage. I didn't have a say, and I had to go, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, so much to a point to where it's like, no, not doing that. So I'd rather just be on my own terms. And I was willing to leave the security of a 9-to-5 job to pursue that. It would not work for everybody. It does not work for everybody. But for me, it was that important. Why? Because of the things I value and my principles. It was important enough for me to do that. It was important enough for me that I became smart enough to make it work and to keep it working. So that's been, for me, it's been over a decade of just doing that and being on my own, and being my own boss, being my own man. So I had to make that work. So it led me to places that were easy to be consistent with, because it was giving me the thing that I want. So if you can get the thing that you want, you can be consistent. If you have gone through the pain of not being authentic because it was a matter of your actual survival working a 9-to-5 job, you do that enough years, my friend, you'll become old and stuck in your ways too once you get to go your own way and you get to have your own say. So I had to go my own way to have my own say. And so by doing that, authenticity became important and easy to maintain, because authenticity is there's not a downside for me. It's the ultimate upside of, yeah, I'll just go my own way and have my own say. That's an upside. So it's like being authentic is something I get to have. It's a privilege to be authentic. It's a privilege to be authentic. It's a privilege to get to be consistent in your beliefs and values and be able to live that way. So I don't find it to be something difficult for me to do, or a chore, or, how do I do that and be like myself online? For me, it's no, I've been doing this for so long, and I feel very grateful to do it, and I wouldn't want to have it a different way. So that's a very long-winded version of answering your question, but it's just how I am. That's why it's not a problem for me to hop on and do these live streams and just tell y'all what I think, show you the data that supports what I think, show you the experience that I have that supports what I think, and just move that way. Victor says, question, thanks, Roberto. As a young man in his 20s, I appreciate you keeping it real with me. Will it be possible to discuss the potential channel niche ideas with you off stream? I only do that in when I do spaces on Twitter, when I do Twitter spaces on X. If it happens in a conversation organically, so be it. The only way that people get to pick my brain these days, if I'm not just on X already doing doing spaces. If I'm not doing spaces on X, the only way to really pick my brain off streams is to join the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group. You go to awesomecreatoracademy.com if you want to figure out what the deal is with that. We do 2 office hours sessions a week for group coaching. So you can go to awesomecreatoracademy.com. I have it linked in the description. So we have the Academy Pro group. And so it's a private group that we do twice a week. And you can leave messages in the group throughout the entire week, and we answer everything. So that would be an option. The other option is one-on-one coaching with me. And so we do that. So that's what we do off stream. Your driver, Sasan, says, hey, Roberto, you can get fit fast by riding a bicycle at least 1 hour a day. Deadlifts and shoulder presses are good combo exercises. They target more muscle and compound movements. So what I do is I do have a bike, but I need to get it serviced. And then I'm actually going to get my brother a bike, and then we're going to ride together, and that'll keep me encouraged. He and I go to the gym sometimes. He does it more consistently than me because he's 10 years younger, and it's a little rough for me between work and just being older. So, but I also do have a pull-up bar in my closet. And so I do that a couple of times a day or throughout the week, as long as I'm not in any kind of, pain or I'm not too tired, I'll just go ahead and just get a couple of pull-ups in while I'm at it. Just do that. So I have those. I have weights in my room. If I don't get to the gym, I'll just lift those a couple of times throughout the week if I don't get to the gym. So if I don't get to the gym, I still get in a decent amount of exercise. That's why I look good for my age still. And the abs are coming back. I just have to lose a little bit of just a little layer here, but the abs are coming back. Yeah, you guys can, I think you guys can hear that through the microphone. So they're still there. They're still there. It's got a little bit of padding, just a little bit of padding. It's not even that bad. If I worked really hard, I could be down to under 15% body fat by the end of the year if I work really hard. Probably just through cycling, if nothing else, to be honest with you. If I did do the cycling every day, if I ride my bike every day, yeah, I'd probably have it by the end of the year. Because I'm only at like 16.2% body fat anyway. I'm only at 16.2% body fat. So if I just like grind, I could be at under 15%. And then that would probably just melt the last bit of body fat. So I would just lose 10 pounds, melt the last bit of belly fat and be done with it. Because I mean, the rest of it, I don't have flabby arms at all. My arms are also the biggest they've ever been. They're just not as, not as toned as they used to be. So every little inch of my body used to be toned because in my peak, in my prime, I was somewhere between when I was in high school, I was like 10, 12% body fat. Like I was just like cut. Yeah, I was just cut. I wasn't big, but I was cut, but I was skinny. And that was like a whole thing, even through my 20s. So what I did in my 30s, though, was I did bulk up a little bit. I got some shoulders, I got a chest, I got some arms. But then, we all put on that COVID 15 pounds. So that did happen. So it's a whole thing. But yeah, if you do work on all these things, if you work on self-improvement, I mean, I think introspection is important. I think self-improvement is important. I think working on your intelligence is important, but that's the internal work. Some people call it monk mode, but I also think warrior mode is important too. I think it's important to do monk mode, but then at some point you got to flip the switch off. You got to get back into the world and fight. And so then that's warrior mode. So a lot of people don't talk about warrior mode. You've had everybody in the world talk about monk mode. No one talks about warrior mode. Warrior mode is when it's time to go beyond the self-improvement and to go out and to be a conqueror. And so that means what you do in warrior mode, you got to go out and you have to build your network and your community and build your relationships. So you got to go out and do that. That requires going outside of yourself. So instead of introspection, you have to go out and you have to be someone who understands how people move in the world and somebody who can relate to others. So you have to go out and do that relationship building and networking. What else do you have to do? You have to go out there and you have to build up your reputation and have accomplishments and achieve things. You need to be a conqueror. You need to build social proof. You need to overcome difficulties. You need to have challenges and trials. You need to become Heracles, and you need to go out and do your 12 bloody labors to earn your status. And so that is an important thing that people need to understand and that people need to be doing. So you do have to go beyond your internal world, and you have to go out into the external world. And so monk mode is how you build yourself and you work on your inner work. Warrior mode is you going out there and then making and staking your claim in the world and finding your place and making an impact and putting a dent in the universe. And so I think that a lot of people get very comfortable and sedentary in monk mode and then never go out into the world and achieve anything with it. And so I would argue that you need both. It's also why I don't expect everyone to have a perfect, pristine life in their 20s or even their 30s. I think to become, especially for young men, if you want to become a great man, it's going to take you 7 to 14 years to bake in the oven before you're done. It's going to take you 7 to 14 years as a man to bake in the oven before you're done. If you want to be a great man. Like if you want to be well done, bake for 7 to 14 years and come back. But if you start younger, that isn't as unappealing, by the way. Sooner you start, the sooner you finish, so to speak. So, and there's always room to, of course, grow and improve, obviously, but you get what I mean in terms of laying a firm foundation. Noctane's Campfire, what are your thoughts on Hamza Muhammad? Not really familiar with his content, I don't think. I think the only thing I haven't really watched his content. I think I may have seen his thumbnails in Twitter somewhere that one of his thumbnail designers showed off, and then I looked at his thumbnails. I think he probably makes really good thumbnails. I'm not familiar with his content. Ken Long says, still mixing the batter, just turned 31. You know, it's like, just don't wait too long to finish baking, Ken. It's like, you know, put in the work. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this stream. We covered a lot of things I wanted to cover. We covered being a full-time content creator. We covered brand deal stuff. We covered brand deals, red flags. We covered a lot of things with negotiating. We covered media kits. We covered so much ground here, and it was 3.5 hours. So I think I'm going to call it an evening. It was great spending time with all of you as always. We'll be back at it again with a strategy stream on Friday. So FAQ Friday, we'll do a YouTube strategy stream, and that will be something that you guys can absolutely benefit from. Remember that all resources and links are in the description down below. Make sure you're checking out awesomecreatoracademy.com for everything I offer over there. Make sure you are checking out my book on Amazon, Create Something Awesome, How Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. You can check that out. And it's not pre-order. You can actually buy it. Make sure you check out our free creator playbook linked in the description down below, and join the email list there as always. And of course, thank you to our sponsors, OpusClip and Kajabi, also linked in the description down below. And for one of the best ways to support the live stream, you can make sure that you can check out, we have a great AI product for you. It's our AI creator prompts, over 200 prompts to help you with ChatGPT. It's only $9, and that is creator prompts. And I've linked it here in the chat for you guys. $9, great way to support the stream. Lifetime updates, and you have over 200 ChatGPT prompts. And so there you go. And that's going to be pretty much it for tonight, everybody. And we're going to end the stream with some relaxing lo-fi music. If you want to check out my faceless music channel, you can check out Zen Buster Music. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with some chill tunes for a couple of minutes as we close out the stream. Stay awesome. Take care.